Chapter 21-20. Okay. Yang Ming didn't know what to say because of Lin Dongfang's straightforwardness. However, since Lin Dongfang said so, Yang Ming didn't have to worry about Xin Yuxi anymore. If the three of them really became sworn brothers, then treating Xin Yuxi was treating his sister-in-law. Come on, sit down. Lin Dongfang pointed to the seat next to him and invited Yang Ming. Although the environment here is good, it is also simple. There are no luxurious tables and chairs. Everyone can only sit on the floor. This is nothing. It is more comfortable to be simple. It is not restrained. Yang Ming nodded and said, Awesome. That's my sworn brother. Lin Dongfang laughed and took the meat skewers from Yi. He placed them on the barbecue rack and said to Yi, go and get the wine I brewed. Let's celebrate today. Yang Ming was speechless for a while. It seems that we haven't become sworn brothers yet, right? Or is Lin Dongfang so casual that he skipped the step of becoming sworn brothers? Okay. Yi nodded shyly and turned around to get the wine. Yezi, you go and help. She is a girl. How heavy is the wine? Yang Ming seemed to speak casually to Lu Yezi next to him, but he was creating an opportunity for Lu Yezi. Lu Yezi immediately understood the meaning of Yang Ming. He was extremely grateful in his heart. He quickly chased after Yi and said, You take me there. You lead the way. I will carry the things. Oh. Yi wasn't as frightened as before this time, but she also subconsciously shrank her body as if she was very shy. Lu Yezi listened to Yang Ming's opinion and didn't dare to make any further moves. Instead, he followed behind Yi obediently and went with her to get the wine. In contrast, Lu Tianqi's wife, Chen Shaojing, was much more easygoing. She also came out with a plate of vegetable skewers and put the plate on the ground. She said enthusiastically to Yang Ming, sister-in-law doesn't know what you like to eat, so she just made some. When the time comes, don't dislike it. How could that be? I'm not a picky eater, and it's already very sumptuous. Yang Ming was telling the truth. These days, in the town, the members of the team didn't have good food. Moreover, after entering the forest, everyone basically ate compressed biscuits. Now that they could eat roasted meat and vegetables, it was quite delicious. That's good. Why don't we sit together? What are you all standing around for? Chen Shaojing called out to Feng Tianlong and the others behind Yang Ming. Yang Ming was the leader of the team, so he sat next to Lin Dongfang without hesitation. However, they were all members of the team. If Chen Shaojing, Yi, and the others did not sit, they would not sit either. But now that Chen Shaojing had called everyone, there was no need to be too shy. Lan Ling sat beside Yang Ming while Xia Shui sat beside Lan Ling. Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu sat together. Not long after, Lu Yezi came back with 2 wine jars in his hands. Yi, on the other hand, had nothing in her hands. Her face was flushed as if she was very embarrassed. She said as she walked, Why don't you give me one? You are a guest. What guest? Since you are here, you are a member of this team. How can I let you do this kind of hard work? Lu Yezi directly took on the responsibility. Yi had no choice but to let Lu Yezi do as he pleased. When they came together, they could only sit together because everyone had already sat down before. Yi couldn't cut the line. Lu Yezi was very excited. He didn't expect to sit together with Yi. Brother Yang Ming, please forgive me for not being a good host. The conditions here are limited. Lu Tianqi smiled at Yang Ming. I think it's already good. Besides, you said that you are my brother. We are family. What is there to be polite about? Yang Ming smiled. That's right. Brother Lin, you are the big brother here. You can say a few words, and then we will start. Lu Tianqi said to Lin Dongfang. Okay, then I will say a few words. Lin Dongfang nodded and raised the wine glass in his hand. Since everyone is here, you are a member of this team. Lu Yezi was right before, so everyone doesn't have to be restrained. There are no rules here. Just be casual and don't be polite. I will toast first. Everyone, feel free to do as you wish and then start eating. Lin Dongfang's humorous tone made everyone in the room laugh. Okay, since that's the case, everyone should be more casual and start eating. After Yang Ming heard this, he picked up the wine glass with his left hand and grabbed a barbecued beef kebab with his right hand and put it directly into his mouth. Everyone was also hungry. When they saw Yang Ming eating, the others followed suit and started to eat. When everyone was almost done eating, Yang Ming said, I have 2 ideas to deal with Elder Yu. Let's talk about it and see if it is feasible. Okay, go ahead. Lu Tianqi nodded. To be honest, in fact, we didn't have much hope of being able to leave the valley because we have been here for too long. At the beginning, we also thought about developing Jin Ganggu as soon as possible, then Elder Yu could let us go back. Oh? And then? Yang Ming asked quickly. But with the passage of time, we found that the Vidra voodoo is not as easy to refine as we thought. After all, it is a lost thing. It is quite difficult to completely restore it. Lu Tianqi sighed and said, at the beginning, Elder Yu and us researched together. It lasted for about 3 years. At that time, Elder Yu and his men lived in the valley every day and researched together with us. With our contact with him, we also understood Elder Yu's character. Elder Yu is a very sinister person. So, we felt that even if we developed Jin Ganggu, he would not let us go. He would keep us here and continue to develop other things for him. Oh. And our conjecture was later confirmed. Under our joint efforts, we found an incomplete Jin Ganggu refinement method. Although this refinement method had some flaws, it was considered a success. We wanted Elder Yu to let us go because according to the previous agreement, as long as we developed a similar substitute, Elder Yu would agree to let us go. However, he did not keep his promise. Not only did he change the incomplete voodoo into an evil voodoo, but he also let us stay here and continue to develop a more complete Jin Ganggu for him. Oh. Chapter 21-21. The words of a person like Elder Yu cannot be trusted. Yang Ming said, how can the words of such an evil person be trusted? Even so, Tianqi and I still trusted him before. Lin Dongfang said, now we think, even if we develop the complete Jin Ganggu, will he still make another lost gu poison for us to study? That is possible. Yang Ming said, so, I have never thought of refining any Jin Ganggu for Elder Yu. Oh. If we don't refine it, then there is no chance of leaving. Lin Dongfang was slightly stunned and asked, do you have other ways? Yes, this is what I was about to say. Yang Ming nodded. The first way is that we can tamper with the Jin Ganggu that Elder Yu refines, and let the Jin Ganggu have some flaws, and we can use this flaw to deal with Elder Yu. Although this method looks good, it is too difficult to do. Not to mention tampering with it, even refining it is very difficult. Lu Tianqi continued, at the beginning, we also thought of this method, but regrettably found that this method cannot be realized. Yes, if you want to modify the voodoo gu instead of flaw, you have to first refine the complete version of the voodoo gu. Then, you have to modify the complete version of the voodoo gu to achieve the purpose of setting a flaw without affecting the final effect of the voodoo gu. Lu Tianqi said, not before refining the complete version of Jin Ganggu, it is unrealistic to think of setting some flaws in it. This setting of flaws may cause the entire Jin Ganggu to fail in refining, and make us take many detours. Ling Ling also told me about this situation yesterday. As for my first idea, it was also rejected by her. However, I brought it up again because I wanted to see if anyone had a different opinion. However, from the looks of it now, there isn't. Yang Ming shook his head and said, "What Ling Ling means is that we can only find the original weaknesses and flaws of the Jin Gang Gu Yuan during the refining process. That is possible, but everything is based on the successful refinement of Jin Gang Gu. It seems that it won't be easy now," Lu Tianqi said in a pessimistic tone. That's right. Therefore, the second method I want to talk about is to refine the nemesis of Jin Gang Gu, the Titan Gu. Yang Ming said, "The Herculean venomous worm is the only venomous worm recorded in Lanmiao village that can restrain the Vajra worm, Herculean Gu." Lu Tianqi and Lin Dongfang were stunned. They had never heard of this Gu poison before. "Ling Ling, why don't you tell everyone about the Herculean venomous insect?" Yang Ming gave Lan Ling the right to speak. "All right." Lan Ling nodded and explained the situation of the Herculean voodoo to Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and the others. "There is actually such a miraculous Gu poison. It is actually the nemesis of Jin Gang Gu." Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and the others said in surprise after hearing it. "That's right. Therefore, I think that since we have the conditions and talents here, we can research the Titan Gu while researching the Jin Gang Gu." Yang Ming said, "The Titan Gu is the main, and the Jin Gang Gu is the auxiliary. Once we research the Titan Gu, we don't have to be afraid of the Jin Gang Gu anymore." "That's a good idea. Elder Yu doesn't know what kind of voodoo we are studying. We are using his laboratory to study how to restrain his voodoo. This is really a funny thing." Lin Dongfang laughed after listening. "That's right, with a refinement expert like sister-in-law joining us, our research can go one step further." Lu Tianqi also nodded and said. After listening to Yang Ming's plan, Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and the others were somewhat rejoiced. They regained their hope. Before this, they didn't have any hope at all. Everyone chatted as they ate. Lan Ling then explained the effects and characteristics of the Vajra parasite and Herculean parasite to everyone, making them even more confident. After eating and drinking to their heart's content, Yang Ming mentioned Shen Yushi's leg injury to Lin Dongfang. "Brother Lin, do you think that in this case, there is a possibility of recovery?" Yang Ming asked. "According to your description, the bones have completely recovered, but the nerves are damaged. Currently, there is only a little feeling in the leg, but she can't walk. Is this the case?" Lin Dongfang asked after listening to Yang Ming's words. "If this is the case, I don't know if there is a way." Yang Ming asked. "This is simple. I can make a medicinal liquid that stimulates the nerves. With acupuncture, it can be easily solved." Lin Dongfang said without thinking, "This kind of illness is nothing." "Is that so? That's great. When the time comes, I will invite you to treat her." Yang Ming heard Lin Dongfang's affirmative answer and said with surprise and joy. "Invite what? You are my third brother Yang, so you are my sister-in-law. Isn't it normal for me to treat her? Why are you thanking me so much?" Lin Dongfang waved his hand and said, "It's nothing." "Okay, then I won't say much. If I say too much, it will be pretentious." Yang Ming nodded. Feng Tianlong heard that Lin Dongfang's medical skills were so good, so he couldn't help but be moved. He wanted to ask him to take a look at Xiao Susu, so he quickly gave Yang Ming a look. Yang Ming immediately understood and smiled at Lin Dongfang. "Brother Lin, I have a team member here who has some problems with her body. Can you take a look at her?" "Team member? Okay, no problem. Do you want to see her now?" Lin Dongfang asked. "Susu, come here. Let Brother Lin take a look at you." Yang Ming waved at Xiao Susu and asked her to come over. Xiao Susu quickly responded and walked over. Her eyes were filled with gratitude. She was very touched by Yang Ming's righteousness. Feng Tianlong was so excited that he couldn't control himself. Thank you so much. Xiao Susu walked over and said softly. No need. Lin Dongfang waved his hand and said to Xiao Susu, give me your wrist. I want to take your pulse. Okay. Xiao Susu was a member of the suicide squad. Naturally, she didn't care so much. She generously extended her hand and gave it to Lin Dongfang. Moreover, Lin Dongfang was a doctor. What was there to be afraid of? After Lin Dongfang felt the pulse on Xiao Susu's arm, he was shocked. He felt that it was a bit unbelievable. What's wrong? Is there something wrong? Yang Ming saw Lin Dongfang's reaction and his heart sank. There was probably no good news. It's very strange. I've never seen a pulse like this before. It's cold inside. It's like a cold, but it's not. It's much more serious than those. Lin Dongfang muttered to himself. Chapter 21-22. Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong's faces darkened after hearing this. They had already checked Xiao Susu's illness at the hospital, but there was nothing they could do. The equipment in the hospital couldn't detect anything wrong with her, but just like what Lin Dongfang said, Xiao Susu often felt cold all over, which was exactly what he said. Mr. Lin, can my wife be saved? Feng Tianlong asked anxiously. It's hard to say, I need to do some research. Lin Dongfang shook his head and didn't give an answer. Lin Dongfang's words made Feng Tianlong worried again. Previously, Shen Yushi's serious illness was not a problem in Lin Dongfang's eyes. However, when it came to Xiao Susu, he was troubled. How could this make Feng Tianlong happy? Mr. Lin, sorry to trouble you. Feng Tianlong bowed to Lin Dongfang and said, please take care of her. You can rest assured, since you are a member of Yang Sandy's team, you are like a brother to me. Your wife, I will naturally do my best to help treat her, but her current situation is something I have never seen before. I need to go back and think about it, but I can't guarantee. Lin Dongfang said. It's okay, as long as you do your best. Feng Tianlong nodded. Some things can't be forced, as long as you put in the effort. Xiao Susu and Feng Tianlong understood this. Lin Dongfang checked Xiao Susu's condition carefully, then closed his eyes and didn't say anything. He was obviously thinking about Xiao Susu's condition, and everyone tacitly didn't disturb him. It's afternoon, everyone go back and rest. We will start work tomorrow and assign tasks. Lu Tianqi saw that Lin Dongfang was deep in thought and knew that he couldn't think about other things for a while, so he decided to take the afternoon off. After all, what they were discussing was a big matter, and couldn't be done in a day, so there was no need to rush in the afternoon. Okay. Everyone nodded. Lin Dongfang sat there with his eyes closed and didn't say anything. Yang Ming pointed at Lin Dongfang and asked Lu Tianqi. Brother Lin is like this, when he is thinking about a problem, he is very focused. Let's not disturb him, when he thinks it through, he will leave. Let's pack up and go back. Lu Tianqi said. I see. Yang Ming nodded. He also knew that some people who were focused on academics would be very engrossed when thinking about things. This was a very common phenomenon, and it was not surprising. Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu looked nervous and sad. They knew that even though Lin Dongfang was thinking hard, the more he did, the more uneasy they felt. Feng Tianlong had vaguely heard of Lin Dongfang's name and knew that he was an amazing doctor with great medical skills. If even he couldn't do anything, then Xiao Susu was probably even more hopeless. Old Feng, don't worry too much. Yang Ming sighed and patted Feng Tianlong's shoulder. You still haven't thought it through. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Weren't you mentally prepared before this? And now, it's just a good opportunity. If it succeeds, everyone will be happy. If it doesn't, won't it be the same as before? Yang Ming comforted him. If you can think like this, maybe you will realize that life is very beautiful. That's true. Originally, Susu didn't have any hope, but now, there is hope. Even if there is only a glimmer of hope, it is much better than before. So, I should be happy. Feng Tianlong nodded. At the very least, it will be the same as before. Yes, okay, now that you have time to rest, spend more time with Susu. When that day comes, you won't have any regrets. Yang Ming said. I understand, Captain, thank you. Feng Tianlong nodded and said solemnly. After sending Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu off, Yang Ming, Lan Ling and Xia Shui walked towards the villa. Lu Yezi helped Yi clean up the leftovers from the barbecue. Yang Ming glanced at him and didn't disturb him. Xia Shui, how was your rest yesterday? Yang Ming asked while walking. I'm not like some people who sleep until noon. Xia Shui was angry when she saw Yang Ming. I was discussing with Lan Ling how to deal with Elder Yu last night. Yang Ming laughed. Why did you discuss for so long? I think you were probably doing something else. Xia Shui snorted. Yang Ming was speechless and quickly changed the topic. Since you didn't sleep well yesterday, why don't you go and rest? I'm not going to rest. Xia Shui thought for a while and said, I'm so bored. Why don't we go to your room and play cards? Play cards? You have poker cards. Yang Ming was slightly stunned. Yes, brother Lu Tianqi has everything. I went to get one before. Xia Shui said and took out a deck of poker cards from her pocket. Okay. Yang Ming had no choice but to nod and agree. He and Lan Ling had been together for a few days. They were stuck together like glue. He was thinking about getting close to her in the afternoon. He didn't expect Xia Shui to interfere. It seemed that he could only play cards with her. Yang Ming, Lan Ling, and Xia Shui went to Yang Ming's villa together, but they were misunderstood by Lu Yezi, who was not far away. He was envious. Captain is so powerful. He got 2 girls at once. When can I be half as good as him? What are you talking about? Yi heard Lu Yezi talking to himself and couldn't help but be stunned. Nothing. Lu Yezi quickly stopped and denied it. Oh. Yi didn't ask much and continued to pack things. Lu Yezi also hurriedly helped her. After everything was packed, Yi glanced at Lin Dongfang and said, Foster father, go back to the house and think about things. The sun is shining here. Oh. Lin Dongfang responded to himself, but he didn't mean to get up. Yi had no choice but to reach out and pull Lin Dongfang. She wanted to pull him up, but Lin Dongfang didn't notice. Yi was a girl. How could she have too much strength? After pulling for a long time, she basically couldn't move him. Yi said to Lu Yezi helplessly, Can you help me? My pleasure. When Lu Yezi heard Yi asking for his help, he was overjoyed. He walked over and pulled Lin Dongfang on both sides with Yi. This time, with the help of Lu Yezi, Lin Dongfang was easily pulled up. He was pushed into the lounge of the research room by the 2 people. When he sat down, Yi was relieved. She wiped the sweat on her forehead and said to Lu Yezi shyly, Sorry to trouble you, oh. Chapter 21-23. What trouble? Not at all. Lu Yezi quickly waved his hand. Right, what are you going to do now? Is there anything else I can help you with? No, you go and rest. Yi said with a smile. What about you? Are you going to rest too? Lu Yezi asked. No, I still have things to do. Yi shook her head. I have to wash clothes. It just so happens that I am also going to wash clothes. Let's do it together. Lu Yezi said naturally. Then, okay. Yi nodded and agreed. I'll go get my clothes. The laundry room is over there. There's a washing machine inside. You can bring your clothes over. We'll meet at the door of the house in front. That's the laundry room. Okay. Lu Yezi nodded quickly and quickly ran to his villa. He did want to wash clothes, but there were only a few. However, listening to Yi's tone, she should have a lot of clothes in her hands, including Lin Dongfang's, so she should be washing them for a long time. Therefore, Lu Yezi simply acted as a volunteer. He knocked on the door of each villa and asked for all the clothes of Feng Tianlong, Xiao Susu, Ang Ming, Lan Ling, and Xia Shui. He was going to wash them all. Therefore, Lu Yezi appeared at the door of the laundry room with a lot of clothes in his arms. However, he suddenly saw that Yi only had 2 pieces of clothes in her hands. It was a pair of Lin Dongfang's pants and her own dress. Ugh, why do you only have 2 pieces of clothes? Lu Yezi was a little speechless. It can't be. I spent a lot of effort, but she only has 2 pieces of clothes. Lu Yezi really wanted to cry but had no tears. He wanted to spend more time with Yi, but now it seemed that it was impossible. She would leave after washing, and he would have to wash here endlessly. At that time, it would be impossible to do other things with Yi after washing the clothes. Yeah, if there are dirty clothes, they can be washed at any time. There is no need to wash them together. Yi said, because I can't go out to shop. The clothes were sent by Elder Yu, so there are not many changes in a year. They are all washed when they are dirty. I see, but the clothes you are wearing now are very beautiful. Although the style is ordinary, it looks very good on you. Lu Yezi said. Is that so? Yi blushed. Of course, I've never lied. Lu Yezi said, alas, compared to you, I'm so miserable. There are so many clothes. How long will it take to wash them? I'm so tired. Hee hee. Then after I finish washing my clothes, I will help you. Yi pondered for a moment and said, you helped me before, this time it's my turn to help you. Great. Lu Yezi jumped 3 feet high and almost threw away the clothes in his hand. However, his movement was so big that it gave Yi a shock. You. Yi looked at the excited Lu Yezi and was at a loss. Ha, didn't you help me this time? So I was a little too happy. Lu Yezi said. Oh. Yi was a little embarrassed as she nodded. The 2 of them went into the laundry room together and began to wash the clothes. Lu Yezi divided the clothes into 3 parts, one for himself, one for Feng Tianlong and one for Xiao Susu, and one for Yang Ming, Lan Ling and Xia Shui. He divided it according to the family, so no one would feel that there was anything wrong with washing like this. Why did you divide the clothes into 3 parts? Yi looked at Lu Yezi's approach and asked curiously. Isn't this Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu's family? This belongs to Yang Ming, Lan Ling, and Xia Shui's family. As for the rest, it's mine. I'm alone. I can only wash my own. I can't get involved with them. If that's the case, then you can wash with us. It's okay, right? Yi asked. The water here is filtered and stored by itself. Although it can't be said to be rare, there are always droughts in a year, so it's still right to use it sparingly. Yi said this because she was afraid that Lu Yezi would dislike or think too much, but she didn't know that this was exactly what Lu Yezi wanted. Yi washed her clothes, Lin Dongfang's clothes, and Lu Yezi's clothes together. Didn't this prove that the three of them were a family? Lu Yezi had just divided the other people's clothes according to the family, and Yi said so. How could he not be excited? Although Lu Yezi knew that Yi didn't have any other meaning and wouldn't imply anything, he was happy in his heart. Yes, yes. Lu Yezi nodded quickly and said, this is the best. Save water. I'm afraid that you will dislike me. I naturally won't. Yi shook her head. So, the two of them began to put the clothes into the washing machine and began to wash the clothes. The washing machine was fully automatic, so there was no need for the two of them to interfere. So after the two of them washed the clothes, they sat next to each other and chatted casually. Yi, I heard that you are an orphan. You were adopted by Uncle Lin Dongfang when you were young. Lu Yezi just wanted to call Lin Dongfang big brother, but he thought that the seniority was a bit messy, so he quickly changed his words. And, I didn't know who my parents were when I was young. I just grew up with my adoptive father. Yi nodded and said, however, I have already regarded my adoptive father as a family member. As for my biological parents, they are not so important. Yeah, they gave birth to you, but they didn't raise you. Uncle Lin raised you. You should be close to him. Lu Yezi nodded. But looking at Uncle Lin, it seems that he likes to study medical skills very much. And, sometimes he is like this. When I think of a problem, he will be like this all day. I can't say anything to him. Yi smiled bitterly. What about you? Why did you and Uncle Yang Ming come here? Elder Yu is not so easy to deal with. Since you are here, I'm afraid you really can't go back. Ugh. Yang Ming. You can also call him Big Brother. Anyway, Uncle Yang Ming is your adoptive father, not your real biological father. Let's talk on our own. Otherwise, it will be too messy. You are obviously about the same age as us. It's a bit weird to call him Uncle Yang Ming. Lu Yezi quickly explained to Yi. He had to determine these seniority relationships. Otherwise, it would be very troublesome when he really fell in love with Yi. And, okay. Yi nodded cleverly. In fact, she also felt that Yang Ming was about the same age as her. It was a bit awkward to call him uncle, but at that time, Lin Dongfang asked her to call him that. She was a filial person, so she called him that. Chapter 21-24. Lu Yezi was very excited. He had finally taken the first step of success. His seniority with Yi had dropped to the same level. Otherwise, there would be some problems when the two of them communicated. This is my job and also a kind of experience. Lu Yezi said to Yi, it is our mission to come here and deal with Elder Yu. No matter how dangerous it is, we have to do our best to complete the mission. Oh. Do we have to come? Asked Yi. It's not that we have to come. Boss Yang Ming doesn't know, but our team members are actually voluntary. I'm here to gain experience. I also want to become a man with an indomitable spirit through this experience. Yang Ming shook his head and said, that's right. Lu Yezi said, as for Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu, you know their situation. Xiao Susu won't be able to live for long. It's just a matter of a year or two. The two of them coming here is actually a honeymoon. So that's the case. Yi nodded and said with some envy, then they are very romantic. They can finish the last part of their lives in the execution of the mission and share life and death with each other. Yeah, haha, now that I see them in pairs, I'm also very envious. Look, they're all in love in the villa, loving each other to the extreme. As for me, a single young man, I can only be a laundry worker here out of boredom. Aren't I, accompanying you? Yi said this and blushed. You are not considered to be bored. Yeah, it's all thanks to you. You are also a single young man. Otherwise, I would really have nothing to do. Now, it's good. In the future, we will form a team. If there is any activity, we won't be left out. Lu Yezi said. Although Yi felt that Lu Yezi seemed to have some other intentions for her, she felt that Lu Yezi was a good person. He was generous and straightforward. He did not have any bad intentions. He was a good friend to make. As for other things, Yi really did not think about it. Although she was not young, compared to the girls outside, she was as pure as a piece of white paper. She did not know anything about love. She was completely no different from a little girl who had just fallen in love. Therefore, she also had the mentality of a friend towards Lu Yezi, but she would not treat him as a friend with other meanings. Lu Yezi was very knowledgeable. He had carried out missions all over the world before. Although Yi was here, she could also check some news materials through the online library, so she was not completely ignorant of the outside world. However, the things in those materials were not as vivid as the strange people that Lu Yezi talked about. Therefore, Lu Yezi told Yi about his experiences and interesting things he had encountered over the years. Yi was very fascinated by it. From time to time, she would ask some questions, and Lu Yezi would answer them patiently. One of them was curious and delighted, while the other was deliberately trying to curry favor. Thus, they soon chatted in full swing, as if they were old friends of many years. Lu Yezi decided to go step by step. First, he would tell Yi some strange stories, then some love stories. Then, after the two of them naturally got familiar with each other, everything would fall into place. Therefore, the two of them even forgot to take care of the washing machine after washing the clothes. They let the washing machine keep reminding them. After a long time, they reacted and turned off the washing machine. They dried the clothes and put some dirty clothes in. Yi couldn't wait to sit down. She was like an obedient primary school student, waiting for Lu Yezi to continue telling stories. As for Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu, after they were done with their lovemaking, they hugged each other on the bed and whispered to each other. Tianlong. If one day, I really leave, you must not take things too hard. Xiao Susu pondered and said solemnly. These 2 days, as the relationship between the two of them got better and better, Xiao Susu became more and more worried. She was afraid that Feng Tianlong would really take things too hard and die with her, and Feng Tianlong sighed and said perfunctorily. Tianlong, don't be perfunctory. You must promise me. Xiao Susu saw that Feng Tianlong was being perfunctory. She frowned and said, swear that you must live well. Otherwise, I'll kill myself later. While our relationship isn't that deep, let's end it early. No. Feng Tianlong said subconsciously, Susu, why are you doing this? You know the situation in my family. Right now, I only have you as my family. After you leave, I'll be alone. It's meaningless. I'm not doing this because I don't want you to follow in my footsteps. Xiao Susu said, if you promise me, I won't mention this again, okay? I promise. Feng Tianlong nodded helplessly. You really promise? Xiao Susu was still worried. If I really promise, how can you be at ease? Feng Tianlong said helplessly. Why don't we have a child? Xiao Susu hesitated and said. This was the only way for Xiao Susu to be at ease. If they had a child, Feng Tianlong couldn't die just like that. If the child lost its mother, how could it lose its father? When that time comes, even if Feng Tianlong wanted to follow her, it would be impossible. Have a child. Feng Tianlong paused for a moment, then immediately understood what Xiao Susu meant. However, Xiao Susu's suggestion did move Feng Tianlong. If they could have a child, then Susu's life would continue. With a child by his side, he wouldn't be lonely, but could Susu's body hold on? Susu, can you get pregnant with your body? Feng Tianlong asked worriedly. Of course I can. I'm fine right now, right? Xiao Susu smiled bitterly. Also, when we went to the fortune teller, didn't he say that a child will be a child? Our child will be a turning point. Oh. Our child will not repeat my tragedy. That fortune teller said that she will have her own destiny. Even so, what the fortune teller said first. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Anyway, I believe it. Xiao Susu said, when the mission here is almost done, we'll have a child. But we can't do it now. If I get pregnant, it'll affect my movements. That's fine too. Let's hope that the fortune teller is right. Our child can escape this calamity. Feng Tianlong nodded and sighed. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to it. What will our child be like? Will it be like you or like me? Xiao Susu couldn't help but look forward to their future child. Oh. Chapter 21-25. Then the fortune teller said we'll have a daughter. And name her Feng Xiao. Yeah. If it's a daughter, she'll definitely be as pretty as you. When that time comes, I'm afraid many boys will fall for her. Feng Tianlong said. What are you talking about? Xiao Susu scolded, our child needs to study hard. We can't let her dress up too beautifully, or else she'll fall in love early. Ha! That's true. I'll definitely take good care of her. If you want to be my daughter's boyfriend, you'll have to get past me first. Feng Tianlong smiled. Come on, you think I can get past you? With your skills, who can beat you? Xiao Susu was both angry and amused at the same time. She said, do you want your daughter to walk the same path as us? Do you want her to practice martial arts too? That's... Feng Tianlong paused and said embarrassedly, that's true. If our daughter wants to be a normal person and live a peaceful life, I can't force her to find a powerful boyfriend like us, can I? It's good that you know. Xiao Susu said, Tianlong, are you really going to cut ties with House Feng forever? If I die, why don't you go back with your child? How can I? I already said that I won't go back. If I go back now, won't people laugh at me? Feng Tianlong said, plus, I really don't want to go back to that house. There's no point in fighting in the dark. You gave up the position of the young master, for me, it's not worth it. Xiao Susu sighed. If I think it's worth it, then it's worth it. My willingness can't be bought with money, Feng Tianlong smiled. Xiao Susu shook her head helplessly. The days slipped by unknowingly. In the blink of an eye, Yang Ming and the others had been in Elder Yu's Medicine Valley for a month. During this time, Elder Yu only came once and left after leaving some necessities. He didn't even ask about the progress of the poison. From his point of view, there wasn't much progress after so many years. There definitely wouldn't be any progress in such a short period of time. If there was any progress, Lin Dongfang and the others would tell him immediately, so there was no need for him to ask. As for Yang Ming and the others, Elder Yu didn't care about them at all. He appeared in front of Yang Ming and the others like a winner. From his point of view, Yang Ming was his prisoner, so he didn't need to say anything to Yang Ming. For him, Yang Ming was almost the same as a captive. He could only work hard for Elder Yu. The refinement of the Jin Gang Gu had come to an end. Under Lan Ling's guidance, Lin Dongfang and Lu Tianqi put their attention on refining the Herculean Gu. Although Lan Ling had detailed information on the Herculean venomous worm and had tried to refine it many times before and had some experience, since the Herculean venomous worm was said to be able to compete with the Vidra venomous worm, the difficulty of refining it was not inferior to the Vidra venomous worm. In this month, there was little progress. As for Xiao Susu's illness, Lin Dongfang didn't find a good solution. Every day after he finished his research, Lin Dongfang would research Xiao Susu's illness for a while. He also looked up a lot of information, but there was no result. "Mr. Lin, is there still no way?" Feng Tianlong sighed and looked at Lin Dongfang expectantly, hoping for a miracle. "Your wife's body condition is really strange. There is a very strong yin energy in her body. I tried many methods but couldn't get rid of it." Lin Dongfang frowned bitterly. "According to my years of medical experience and knowledge, the cold energy in her body should come from a type of goo poison. It should be something similar to goo poison. I want to take some blood and analyze it carefully." "Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lin." Feng Tianlong nodded, "But goo poison, why is it so strange?" "I just said it's similar, but I didn't say it's definitely a goo poison. It should be similar to goo poison, because many goo poisons can't be detected by normal medical methods after they enter the body. Su's illness, I used normal methods, but I couldn't find the cause of it." Lin Dongfang said, "And this is the reason why I said it's similar. So it's like this." Feng Tianlong sighed. "Anyway, no matter if it works or not, I'll leave it to you. I'll do my best." Lin Dongfang nodded. However, the result was disappointing. Lin Dongfang took Xiao Susu's blood but didn't find anything wrong with it. Xiao Susu's body was no different from a normal person's, but there was a strong yin energy in her body. There was no reason for it. When they heard this result, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were mentally prepared, but they couldn't help but feel disappointed. "Mr. Lin, is there no other hope?" Feng Tianlong asked. "It's not impossible. I will try my best. I will find a way to help you. But you know, this is beyond my knowledge. I can only try slowly." Lin Dongfang said with a wry smile, "However, I suggest that Susu should eat more warm food instead of cold food. This may improve her physique. Of course, it may not have a big effect." Lin Dongfang said with a bitter smile, "However, I suggest that Susu should eat more warm food instead of cold food." "Okay, I'll try, thank you Mr. Lin for reminding me." Xiao Susu quickly nodded. "No need to thank me, we're all family, there's no need to be so polite. I can't help much, I'm sorry." Lin Dongfang waved his hand. "Although my medical skills are amazing, I really can't do anything about your body condition." "I understand, Mr. Lin, we're already very grateful." Xiao Susu said. "Yes, but we'll have to trouble Mr. Lin." Feng Tianlong sighed, looking troubled. "Tianlong, don't be troubled, haven't we already thought it through?" Xiao Susu smiled. Hee, yes, we'll take it one day at a time, there's no need to think so much." Feng Tianlong nodded. At the same time, the love between Lu Yezi and Yi started to sprout day by day. In this place, only Yi and Lu Yezi were single, so every time they ate or rested, they would sit together. After a while, they became familiar with each other. Lin Dongfang didn't purposely stop this, and the others didn't interfere either. Chapter 21-26. Lin Dongfang actually wanted to find someone for Yi to entrust her life to. He was clear about his own situation. He didn't know how long he could hold on, so before he died, it was very important to have someone to help him take care of Yi. Lin Dongfang knew his own situation. The restriction voodoo that Elder Yu put in his body was different from others. Lin Dongfang came to Miaojiang first. Elder Yu didn't think that the Jin Gang voodoo was so difficult to refine, so he put a very powerful voodoo on Lin Dongfang called Quick Cicada Voodoo. This voodoo, after entering the body, had no signs at the beginning, but as time passed, it would devour people's memory, making this person amnesia. However, it was not an idiot, but it was even worse than an idiot. Because basically, after today, they would forget yesterday. What would happen tomorrow, it was impossible to predict. This kind of life was simply worse than death. Lin Dongfang didn't know if he still had the courage to live at that time. He knew that when Elder Yu put the voodoo in him, he didn't think about curing the voodoo at all. This voodoo had no antidote. In Elder Yu's view, after refining the Herculean voodoo, Lin Dongfang's life and death had nothing to do with him. After he lost his memory, he forgot what happened before, and others couldn't get the refining recipe of the Herculean voodoo from him. As for why he didn't kill Lin Dongfang, this was also because Elder Yu still cherished the people who had helped him. Although he was cruel to ordinary people and enemies, he still cherished the people who had helped him. But this Lin Dongfang had to be eliminated, so he could only make him an idiot with amnesia. In this way, Lin Dongfang couldn't leak the secret of the Jin Gang voodoo without killing him. However, after refining the voodoo with Lin Dongfang for a while, Elder Yu tragically discovered that how could the Jin Gang voodoo be so easy to refine? It was almost impossible to refine it in a short time. Therefore, Elder Yu was anxious. The Quick Cicada voodoo had no antidote. This voodoo was configured by Elder Yu himself. Elder Yu could only go and capture the bacteriology research expert Lu Tianqi here to continue to study the voodoo for him. This way, even if Lin Dongfang died, Lu Tianqi could continue his research on the Herculean venomous worm. Therefore, for the control of Lu Tianqi, Elder Yu changed his strategy and used other voodoo. This kind of voodoo could be solved with the super antidote pill, but in the absence of the super antidote pill, as long as the antidote was taken regularly, then he would not die for a while. This was similar to the goo poison used on Yang Ming, Lan Ling, and the others. Although Lin Dongfang didn't tell anyone about this, he was clear in his heart. As for Yi, Elder Yu didn't put any voodoo on her. First, it was because she was just a child at that time. Elder Yu didn't put her in his eyes. Second, Elder Yu felt that if he controlled Lin Dongfang, he could control Yi. Therefore, he didn't bother with her. The reason why Lin Dongfang didn't say this was that he was afraid that Yi and the others would be worried. However, this matter was always like a thorn in his heart. If he didn't solve it, he would feel uncomfortable. Previously, Lin Dongfang wanted to entrust Yi to Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing. After all, everyone had been together for so long, and they were very familiar with each other. However, it wasn't very good. Yi was a little naive. She had not seen the outside world. She couldn't stay in Lu Tianqi's house all her life, right? Lin Dongfang thought that with Yi's character, she probably couldn't find a boyfriend because she didn't know what love was. She would definitely stay in Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing's house all her life, but what was going on? Lu Tianqi would also have children in the future. At that time, wouldn't Yi seem redundant? Although Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing didn't say much, Lin Dongfang still felt that it was a little inappropriate. This time, Lu Yezi actually pursued Yi. Lin Dongfang was happy to sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor. Lin Dongfang still felt that Lu Yezi was a good person. Although he was a little impetuous, he was still a young talent. He was courageous and knowledgeable. He also had a good appearance. Lin Dongfang was very satisfied with such a person. He didn't ask for Lu Yezi to have a powerful background, nor did he ask for Lu Yezi to have a lot of money. As long as he was good to Yi and could take care of Yi in the future, that was enough. As for the rest, it wasn't important. Perhaps it was because his wish was fulfilled. Lin Dongfang suddenly felt that his body seemed to be getting worse day by day, and his memory was also declining. Sometimes, he had to think for a long time before he could remember what he had just done. Could it be that the fast cicada voodoo is going to break out? Lin Dongfang sighed slightly in his heart. Finally, this day has come. Although he knew that this day would come sooner or later, he didn't expect this day to come so early. Or it could be said that it was already late, but Lin Dongfang hadn't finished everything yet, but fortunately, it could be said that God pitied him and let him find a good companion for Yi at the last stage. He didn't have to worry about Yi's life in the future. Lin Dongfang concocted a few medicines to enhance his memory. In the Medicine Valley, there was no lack of medicinal materials. There were all kinds of medicinal materials, and even some very rare medicinal materials were obtained by Elder Yu. The purpose was to refine the Jin Gang Gu. After drinking a few medicines, Lin Dongfang's memory did not improve. In desperation, Lin Dongfang decided to tell the truth to the people here and be honest. It was also to make arrangements for his death. This day was the weekend. According to the rules of the Medicine Valley, they had to take a break on the weekend. Everyone would stop their research and then find a place with a beautiful environment to have a barbecue or a picnic. Today was the same as usual. On the first night, Yi, Chen Shaojing, Xia Shui, Lan Ling, Su Su, and the others hurriedly made a few roasted chickens and some cooked food. The next day, everyone prepared to have a picnic by the stream at the edge of the Medicine Valley. It could be said that in addition to not being able to interact with the outside world, everyone's life was also very colorful. It was a little like a paradise. If possible, Lu Tianqi would like to bring his parents here and live together with them. Of course, he was just thinking about it. Before he could deal with Elder Yu, Lu Tianqi couldn't get in touch with his parents, let alone bring them here. If he really dealt with Elder Yu, then it would be up to him and the others to decide whether to stay or leave. There was no need to waste any more effort. Chapter 21-27. The entertainment here was very simple. Before Yi and the others had finished preparing the food, the few men sat around the open space and played poker. However, every time it was Lin Dongfang's turn to play, he would think for a long time. "Brother Lin, is it your turn?" Lu Tianqi looked at Lin Dongfang with some confusion. He didn't know what was wrong with Lin Dongfang. Why was he so slow with his cards? He couldn't help but tease. "I say, are you thinking about research again when you're playing cards? Playing cards is playing cards, and resting is resting. Don't involve work." Lin Dongfang listened to Lu Tianqi's words and couldn't help but smile bitterly. "I didn't think about anything else. I was thinking carefully about what cards to play." "Right, how many twos were there before?" As he said this, Lin Dongfang reached out and flipped through the poker cards on the table. He wanted to see how many twos were there before. "I say, Brother Lin, are you serious? You don't even know how many twos were there. Previously, you threw out 3 twos, and the last twos was from me. You used Little Wang to manage it. Don't you remember?" Yang Ming looked at Lin Dongfang's performance and suddenly didn't know whether to cry or laugh. "Didn't I forget?" Lin Dongfang shook his head helplessly. His memory was getting worse and worse. He forgot a lot of things in the blink of an eye. Until now, he couldn't even remember what kind of cards he had played before. His memory was really problematic. Fortunately, Lin Dongfang had only forgotten what had just happened. As for the past, he could still remember. However, this was probably an omen. It was estimated that he would only have about a year or so before he completely lost his memory. Thinking of this, Lin Dongfang was a little worried. Yi's matter had been solved very well, but what about his medical skills? Lin Dongfang's medical skills had yet to be entrusted to anyone. Yi was obviously not a medical material. Otherwise, Lin Dongfang would have passed on his medical skills to her. However, Yi's personality was more quiet. Although she was quite accomplished in the research of voodoo, she was much worse in terms of seeking medical treatment. Her personality wasn't suitable for interacting with strangers. If she were to study medicine, it would be equivalent to making things difficult for her. As for Lu Tianqi and Chen Xiaojing, although the two of them had a foundation in medicine, after so many years, Lin Dongfang knew their personalities very well. Lu Tianqi and Chen Xiaojing were already very accomplished in bacteriology. At this time, it was absolutely impossible for them to change their profession to medicine. Moreover, they didn't have the time. Therefore, the problem of the successor made Lin Dongfang even more worried. After 2 days of research and consideration, Lin Dongfang had decided that these were the people he was looking for. Oh. One was Lu Yezi, and the other was Yang Ming. As for Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu, Lin Dongfang felt that they were unreliable. What if Susu's illness couldn't be cured and these two died together? Wouldn't his medical skills be lost? Although there was still a gap between his medical skills and those people's, he was still considered a top-notch existence in the secular world. Lin Dongfang naturally didn't want his medical skills to be lost. Of course, as for Xia Shui and Lan Ling, Lin Dongfang didn't consider them. Both of them were Yang Ming's women. They would listen to whatever Yang Ming said. If Yang Ming didn't want to learn, it wouldn't be too late to look for them. Lu Yezi was also the best candidate in Lin Dongfang's mind. After all, Yi was his goddaughter, and Lu Yezi was considered Lin Dongfang's son-in-law. The son-in-law inheriting the legacy was relatively perfect. However, whether Lu Yezi was willing to learn or not and whether he had the talent was still very important. If he didn't have the talent, then Lin Dongfang might as well not waste this thought. After all, he didn't have much time left. He couldn't waste any time. If Lu Yezi didn't succeed, he had to quickly find someone else. It wasn't worth wasting time on him. What should I play? Lin Dongfang hesitated for a long time and then threw out a 3. But as soon as he finished, he exclaimed, "That's not right. My 3 is linked with other cards. Oh no, I made a mistake. Godfather, what's wrong with you? Why are you always so forgetful recently?" Yi just finished her work at hand and was about to come over to call Lin Dongfang and others to eat. As a result, she saw such a scene, so she looked at Lin Dongfang strangely and asked. "Nothing, nothing." Lin Dongfang said with a wry smile. "Oh, the food is ready. Let's go and eat together." Yi didn't ask much. After all, she didn't think so much. When Lin Dongfang was poisoned by Elder Yu, she was still young, so she didn't remember those things. After she grew up and remembered, Elder Yu and Lin Dongfang didn't mention this matter again. Even Lu Tianqi and Chen Xiaojing didn't know, so it was even more impossible for Yi to know. Lin Dongfang sighed, stood up, and threw the cards on the ground. He said, I'm not playing anymore. Let's eat." "Brother Lin, you are really shameless." Lu Tianqi said helplessly, "But you are also absent-minded. Let's eat first." Yang Ming also felt a little funny about Lin Dongfang's behavior. This guy is like an old urchin. He is so old, but he is still shameless. However, everyone was easygoing people. They only regarded playing cards as entertainment, so no one would say anything about Lin Dongfang's behavior. Yang Ming and the others also stood up and walked with Lin Dongfang to the picnic place. Everyone was still the same as before, sitting on the ground. "Shameless brother Lin, can you say a few words?" Yang Ming said with a smile. "Ha!" Lin Dongfang suddenly felt a little embarrassed. "I can't say that I'm shameless. People have prepared the food. We can't not go, right? I'm thinking for everyone. Okay, Brother Lin, who doesn't know your character? Lu Tianqi also smiled and said, let's not talk about that. If you say a few words, we will start eating. We are hungry. I won't say anything else. Didn't I say anything before? It can't be that since Brother Yang Ming is here, we become distant, right? Okay, let's eat. Lin Dongfang hesitated. He didn't say his condition at this time. After all, everyone hadn't eaten yet. It was inappropriate to say it. How would everyone have the mood to eat? So Lin Dongfang planned to wait for everyone to finish eating before talking about his condition. In this way, when everyone was full, even if they were worried, it wouldn't affect them. It could be said that Lin Dongfang was still very thoughtful. Chapter 21-28. After everyone listened to Lin Dongfang's words, they were not polite. Firstly, everyone had been here for more than a month, and they were more familiar with each other. There was no need to be so polite. Secondly, everyone was hungry, so they agreed very much. During the meal, everyone did not talk about some work matters. They talked about work matters during work, but when they were not working, they would naturally talk about some more relaxed topics. At present, when everyone was relaxing, the most interesting thing was Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and others talking about the interesting things they encountered during their previous missions. Yang Ming was also happy to let his subordinates talk about it. He was also listening with great interest. It turns out that the missions you carried out in the past were so dangerous. Yi listened to Lu Yezi and Yang Ming's mission experience in Las Vegas, and suddenly sighed nervously, but you are really amazing. That Li Dianqi was finally captured, and it was even more thrilling to deal with that Iron Man. Didn't the boss take action? Otherwise, with my own ability, it would be impossible to deal with it. Lu Yezi was a humble person. Even in front of Yi, he would not boast at all. He would not exaggerate his own credit, and would not give Yang Ming's credit to him. However, the more he was like this, the more assured Lin Dongfang was about Lu Yezi. If Lu Yezi was a pompous person, Lin Dongfang would not dare to entrust Yi to him. Lu Yezi was steady and humorous. He was a good match for Yi. As for Yi, she did not think that Lu Yezi was not powerful at all. Although Yang Ming was more powerful, that was normal. Otherwise, how could Yang Ming be the captain of these people? Moreover, Yi was very simple and would not worship heroes too much. In her opinion, Lu Yezi was the one who could talk to her. No matter whether Lu Yezi was powerful or not, their relationship was still the best. After listening to what you said, I want to see it. Lu Tianqi sighed and said, so many years have passed in a flash. I have been staying here. I don't know what the outside world has developed. I just read some information, but it is different from what you said. What you said is very realistic. I really want to go out and walk around, there will definitely be such a day. Yang Ming said, as long as we work hard, everything will not be a problem. Now it seems that although the Herculean voodoo and Jin Gang voodoo are not easy to refine, it is not impossible. As long as we work hard, there will always be a chance. That's true. Lu Tianqi nodded. Suddenly, he seemed to think of something and asked, by the way, Lu Yezi said before that the method you used to deal with the Vajra Iron Man, can you use it to deal with Elder Yu? The Vajra Iron Man you encountered should have the same effect as Elder Yu's Vajra Gu, right? This is true, but it is not the same. Yang Ming shook his head and said, Jin Gang Iron Man has a weakness. He has a circuit on his feet. As long as the circuit is destroyed, the purpose of killing him can be achieved. But Elder Yu is different. We don't know where his weakness is, which is commonly known as the Achilles heel. We don't know the Achilles heel of Jin Gang voodoo. If we can find it, then we can also deal with him. Jean Gang Voodoo's Achilles heel. Yes, this Achilles heel can't be found when studying Jean Gang Voodoo. Only after taking Jean Gang Voodoo, Elder Yu will know where the weakness is. Lu Tianqi sighed and said, it seems that it won't work. We still have to hurry up and refine the nemesis of Jean Gang Voodoo, the Herculean Voodoo. Not necessarily. If we refine Jean Gang Voodoo first, we can give some to one of us, or everyone can take it together. After finding the weakness of Jean Gang Voodoo, we can then give it to Elder Yu, and we can deal with him. Lu Yezi thought about it and suggested. This is a good idea. Lon Ling's eyes lit up. However, after we also take Jean Gang Voodoo, do we still need to be afraid of Elder Yu? He can't do anything to us, right? No. Yang Ming frowned and said, if we can find the weakness of Jean Gang Voodoo, then after Elder Yu takes Jean Gang Voodoo, won't he also find the weakness? What if he also deals with our weakness by then? Wouldn't that make us the same? Boss is right. We are here to deal with Elder Yu, and our ultimate goal is not to escape from the Medicine Valley. Feng Tianlong also nodded and said, our goal is different from Brother Lu and Mr. Lin. They want to escape from the Medicine Valley, and we want to deal with Elder Yu. So, we still have to face Elder Yu. Yes, I forgot your goal. You want to deal with Elder Yu, and not just compete with him, so you have to defeat him. If everyone knows each other's weakness and is evenly matched, then there is really no other way. Lu Tianqi nodded and said. What if we take the refined Jean Gang Voodoo ourselves, and don't give it to Elder Yu? Then, can't we deal with him? Yi suddenly asked. This is hard to say. Lon Ling frowned and said, if the Jean Gang Voodoo really has a weakness, then Elder Yu is the supplier of the voodoo formula. Maybe the original formula also has the weakness of this Jean Gang Voodoo. At that time, if we really think that we can deal with him by taking the Jean Gang Voodoo, then wouldn't that be? Ah, that's true. I thought too simply. Yi said embarrassedly. It's okay. Can everyone speak freely? If you have any suggestions, you can put forward them. This way, we can brainstorm. Yang Ming waved his hand and smiled. Yi nodded. However, I don't know about the Jean Gang Voodoo, but the Herculean Voodoo has some weaknesses. For example, after taking the Herculean Voodoo, you need to rely on the nutrient liquid of the voodoo to maintain the activity of the voodoo. Otherwise, the voodoo will have some danger of backlash. Lon Ling said, but the specific situation needs to be refined first. Everyone, let's work together for a better future. Cheers. Lu Yezi raised his wine glass and said. Cheers. Everyone also raised their wine glasses. After everyone was full, Lu Yezi was about to suggest that everyone continue to play cards, and let Yi and other girls join in to play poker, but Lin Dongfang waved his hand seriously. Chapter 21-29. I have something important to tell everyone. Let's go to the small conference room in the research room. Lin Dongfang said to everyone. Ah. Lu Tianqi was stunned. Big Brother Lin, what kind of show are you singing? Godfather, what are you doing? Yi was also a little puzzled. Everyone will know when you get there. Lin Dongfang smiled bitterly. Let's go. Okay. Yang Ming nodded and said, everyone, let's go together. Since Yang Ming had spoken, several of Yang Ming's men naturally wouldn't say anything more. They all stood up and followed Yang Ming, walking in the direction of the research room. Lin Dongfang walked in the front. His face was also helpless and bitter. Finally, this day had come. There were some words that had to be said. I hope everyone won't be too worried. After entering the conference room next to the research room, Lin Dongfang sat on the main seat, and Yang Ming, Lu Tianqi, and the others sat on the side. This time, can you say it? Lu Tianqi saw that Lin Dongfang was so serious, and said with a bitter smile, "Brother Lin, if you have something to say, just say it." "Yeah, aren't you just hooking our appetites?" Yang Ming also smiled bitterly. "Brother Lin, what important things do you want to tell us?" "Well, if that's the case, I will tell the truth." Lin Dongfang nodded and said, "Actually, when I just came here, I was poisoned by Elder Yu." Ah. Lin Dongfang's words stunned everyone present. However, Lu Tianqi immediately said with a strange expression, "I was also poisoned." "Big brother Lin, don't you know that too? Why are you suddenly talking about this at this time?" "Yeah, we were also poisoned before we came here." Yang Ming also said, "All the members of our team have been poisoned with voodoo. They have to take the antidote regularly. However, I have a few super antidote pills that have already cured the voodoo poison for them." "Super antidote pills? You actually have the super antidote pill?" Lu Tianqi said in surprise. "The voodoo poison in me and Xiao Jing also needs the super voodoo antidote pill to solve it. Otherwise, we can only take the antidote provided by Elder Yu regularly. I have the formula for this super goo cure pill, and I should be able to find the refining materials here. It's just that my current level is not enough to grasp the refining technique. However, I believe that practice makes perfect. After studying the Herculean goo and Jin Gang goo for a long time, I will definitely be able to refine the super goo cure pill. So, you don't have to worry. There won't be any problems." Lon Ling said, "Brother Lin, are you worried about this?" "It doesn't matter, all of us have been poisoned by goo. I know you are all poisoned, but the poison in my body is not the same as yours, it is not the same." Lin Dongfang said with a wry smile, "The poison in my body is a very powerful poison refined by Elder Yu. The super antidote pill is also ineffective." "Ah?" Lu Tianqi was stunned. "Big brother Lin, why didn't you mention this before? I thought that you and I were poisoned by the same kind of voodoo. I didn't say it before because Yi was still young at that time. If I said it, I was afraid that she would be worried." Lin Dongfang said, "Later, this voodoo didn't break out, and my body didn't have any abnormalities, so I forgot about this. I thought that Elder Yu was lying, foster father." After listening to Lin Dongfang's words, Yi was very worried suddenly. "Yi, don't talk first. Listen to me." Lin Dongfang waved his hand and motioned for Yi not to speak first. "Until recently, I discovered that my memory is obviously deteriorating. I often forget the things that I just finished. And the things that I did yesterday, I have to think about it for a long time before I can remember. Even how many drumsticks I just ate, I can't remember now." Ah. After everyone listened to Lin Dongfang's words, they were very surprised. "What kind of voodoo is this? Why is it similar to amnesia? This isn't voodoo, right? Why does it look like memory deterioration?" Yang Ming looked at Lin Dongfang strangely and asked. "It is indeed so." Lin Dongfang said, "After this voodoo breaks out, it is exactly the same as memory deterioration. At first, you don't remember what just happened, then you will slowly forget the past. The final result is that when you wake up every day, you don't know what happened yesterday, let alone what happened before. The whole person is like an idiot but not an idiot. It's just that you don't have the ability to remember. This. I remember now." Lon Ling suddenly said, "This voodoo, I have seen the records. It is called quick cicada voodoo. I have seen it in the information before. I didn't expect Elder Yu to give you this voodoo. Is it really voodoo?" Lu Tianqi said in surprise. "Of course, it is voodoo." Lin Dongfang smiled bitterly. Everyone should know my medical skills. Before this, I also tried to prescribe a lot of drugs to enhance memory, but the effect was minimal. This quick cicada voodoo is too powerful. I tried various drugs, but they couldn't kill it. Ling Ling, is there an antidote for this quick cicada voodoo? Yang Ming frowned and asked. No. Lon Ling said affirmatively. At least there is no record in the information. I believe no one has developed it. This quick cicada voodoo is one of the most powerful voodoo. It is often used to control some enemies. It is very vicious. So, there is no solution, asked Yang Ming. You can say that. Lon Ling nodded. It is more difficult to refine the antidote for this voodoo than refining the Herculean voodoo and Jin Gang voodoo. Then is it my adoptive father? Yi's face changed, and she was shocked. Yi, don't worry too much. In fact, I have already thought it through. Why are you still worried? Lin Dongfang smiled and said, Yi, I am not dead. I just lost my memory. In the future, I am afraid I will have to trouble you to take care of me. I have taken care of you for so many years. It is time for me to enjoy life. Adoptive father, of course, I will take care of you. Yi held back her tears and nodded. She knew that although Lin Dongfang said it casually, his heart must be very bitter. It was just that there was no other way. He could only look at things optimistically. Isn't that fine? Lin Dongfang smiled and said, I am telling this to everyone because I want to say that in the future, my memory may get worse and worse, and I may become an idiot. Don't despise this old man. Chapter 2130. How can this be? Not only Yi, but I will also take care of you. Lu Yezi quickly said, Uncle Lin, don't worry. You will be my family in the future. I will be responsible for taking care of you. After Lu Yezi finished speaking, he suddenly found that everyone was looking at him with a strange look. Only then did he realize that he was a little anxious. It seems that it is not the right time to say this. I am not someone close to Lin Dongfang. If I say this, it seems that it is too much. Lin Dongfang laughed and said, Well, Lu Yezi, with your words, I am relieved. Ah. Lu Yezi was taken aback, and the others present were also taken aback. They didn't know what Lin Dongfang meant by this sentence. Lin Dongfang made a gesture to calm down and said to everyone, just in time to take this opportunity. There is one thing I want to say. As he said this, Lin Dongfang looked at Lu Yezi and Yi. Seeing Lin Dongfang's eyes, Lu Yezi was a little excited and nervous. Is Lin Dongfang going to talk about me and Yi? Thinking of Lin Dongfang's previous words, Lu Yezi felt that it was very likely. Uncle Lin, please say. Lu Yezi said quickly and respectfully. Yi was stunned, but she seemed to have vaguely guessed something when she saw everyone's expression. She couldn't help but blush. Yi, you are not young this year, right? Lin Dongfang looked at Yi and said. Ah. Yi didn't know how to reply. You are 19 years old this year, right? Lin Dongfang said, men should get married when they are of age. Yi, you are also at the age of marriage. Foster father. Although Yi vaguely guessed something, she was still a little embarrassed when she heard Lin Dongfang suddenly say it. She lowered her head in embarrassment and didn't know what to say. Lu Yezi was trembling with excitement. He had always been worried about Lin Dongfang's attitude. Lin Dongfang had seen the matter between him and Yi before, but he didn't support or oppose it. This made Lu Yezi very nervous. He didn't know what would happen to him and Yi in the future. But today, I'm afraid Lin Dongfang will officially talk about this matter. Don't say anything, let me finish. Lin Dongfang waved his hand and smiled. I see that you are getting along well with little Yi recently. Very harmonious. Do the two of you have any thoughts of being together? Yes, yes. Lu Yezi nodded subconsciously. But after he finished speaking, he realized that he was a little too anxious. Hadn't expressed her opinion yet, and he had already nodded in agreement. Wasn't he a little too anxious? After all, was a girl. How embarrassed would she be if Lu Yezi acted like this? Sure enough, blushed and looked at Lu Yezi and Lin Dongfang shyly, not knowing what to say. Ugh. I still have to see what thinks. Lu Yezi quickly changed his words. What do you think, oh? Lin Dongfang nodded and looked at I don't know. Although felt that Lu Yezi was not bad, wasn't it a little too rushed to talk about love? Moreover, she wasn't psychologically prepared yet. However, actually knew that Lin Dongfang was making arrangements for his funeral. His memory was getting worse and worse. Naturally, he had to arrange these things for himself before his memory was completely lost. Therefore, in order not to disappoint him, nodded. I will listen to foster father's arrangement. In fact, impression of Lu Yezi was still good. If she let nature take its course, believed that she could still be with him. Although it was a little rushed now, it was not that she couldn't accept it. After listening to Yi's words, Lu Yezi was overjoyed. If it was all arranged by Lin Dongfang, then it was equivalent to Yi agreeing to Lin Dongfang's proposal. Lu Yezi was very excited and said, Uncle Lin. No, father-in-law, please rest assured. I will take good care of Yi and you. Leave the rest of your life to me. Okay, I believe in you. Lin Dongfang smiled and said, You are a good young man. I still have a good impression of your character. I am relieved to leave Yi to you. My character is very good. I am very loyal. I will be good to Yi in the future. I will not look at other girls. Lu Yezi quickly promised, I will definitely not be a playboy. When Yang Ming heard this, a few black lines suddenly appeared on his face. How did I become a typical example of the opposite? However, at this time, Yang Ming couldn't say anything against it. Wouldn't that be undermining Lu Yezi? Therefore, Yang Ming could only curse in his heart. He cursed that Lu Yezi's son was a playboy and that he would find a few more girlfriends in the future to anger his father to death. Listened to Lu Yezi's words and also blushed. She said with some embarrassment, Lu Yezi, what are you talking about? I just said that I will listen to foster father's arrangement, but I didn't say that now. It's okay. Don't worry. Let's fall in love step by step. There is no hurry to do the wedding ceremony. Lu Yezi nodded quickly. Originally, the matter of Lin Dongfang's voodoo made the atmosphere very depressed, but Lu Yezi livened up the atmosphere so that the overall atmosphere became cheerful. This matter is arranged, and it can be regarded as the first big thing in my heart. Lin Dongfang sighed and said, in the future, will have someone to rely on. I am relieved, but there is another big thing. Oh. What is it? Lu Yezi quickly said, Father-in-law, please speak. If there is anything, just say it. We will do our best to do it. Hee. There is one more thing, that is my medical skills. Lin Dongfang sighed and said, my medical skills, everyone knows that it is relatively good. I am not boasting. Even if it is not the best, it is still one of the best. This is true. Yang Ming nodded and said, I can testify that even the miracle Dr. Guanshu Amin admires Brother Lin's so much, then Brother Lin's medical skills are naturally very good. Father-in-law, do you mean that you are afraid that your medical skills will be lost? Lu Yezi reacted quickly. He suddenly changed from Lin Dongfang's amnesia to Lin Dongfang was afraid that his medical skills would be lost. And, that's right. I am worried about this. Lin Dongfang nodded and said, my medical skills can be considered unique. If it is lost, it will be a pity. As my memory gets worse and worse, I will definitely forget the past, so my medical skills must be found a suitable successor as soon as possible. Otherwise, it will really be too late. Chapter 2131. Oh, then what do you mean? Lu Yezi nodded and asked, how about Yi? Isn't Yi the best successor? Yi is not suitable for learning medicine. When she was young, I taught her, but her character has determined that she is not suitable for learning medicine. Lin Dongfang said, Yi is not suitable to contact and deal with strangers. You can see that. She and you are familiar with each other after a long time. She grew up in this environment and has not been in contact with the outside world, so I still need to change a successor. Father-in-law, do you mean that you want me to learn medicine? Lu Yezi was slightly stunned and asked. I have this plan. Lin Dongfang nodded. But I don't seem to be suitable for learning medicine. Lu Yezi suddenly had a headache and said, I am not interested in this. My initial candidates are you and Brother Yang Ming. Lu Tianqi can't do it. His research direction is different and he has no time to learn medicine. He is one of the important people in charge of researching voodoo. It is impossible for him to stop and learn medicine from me. So the rest of the people who don't know how to refine voodoo are only you, Yang Ming, Feng Tianlong, Xia Xuan Su Su. Lin Dongfang said, but Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu are here for their honeymoon, and under special circumstances, they definitely won't learn medical skills. Their time is limited, how can we let them waste their time learning medical skills? So the rest is only you, Yang Ming and Xia Shui. Ah. Then what about boss Yang Ming and sister-in-law Xia Shui? Lu Yezi said with a bitter face, still have to cultivate a relationship with Yi. I don't have time to learn, haha, this is not a problem. Lin Dongfang said, how about this? You, Yi, Yang Ming, and Xia Shui, when you are free, learn medicine with me. You learn together and complement each other. Learn as much as you can. I am afraid that I don't have much time left. This way, you can all learn from each other and help each other to fill in the gaps. Ah. Foster father, I can't learn it. Yi said with some distress. She was indeed not very fond of medical matters, but she was very fond of Lu Tianqi's bacteriology research. Therefore, in the refinement of the goo poison, Yi had put in a lot of effort. She also did not want to stop her current research and learn medical skills. I don't have the talent in this area. Xia Shui said with a bitter smile, you can use me as a test subject for voodoo. Let me learn medicine. Forget it. I really can't. How about this? I will learn with Lu Yezi. It is enough for the two of us to learn together. Yang Ming hesitated and said. He saw that Yi and Xia Shui didn't want to learn. These two people were really not that good, so it was really difficult for them to learn. Therefore, Yang Ming didn't want to make it difficult for them. That's fine too. Lin Dongfang thought about it and agreed. Although it was not very safe for the two of them to learn, he was afraid that the two of them were not good at medicine. The more people there were, the better the chances. However, the problem now was that Yi and Xia Shui did not want to learn, so Lin Dongfang had no other way. Father-in-law, you can rest assured. I will learn well, said Lu Yezi. I will also study hard. Yang Ming also nodded and said. However, what Yang Ming said was true. Yang Ming's ability to accept was relatively strong. When he was learning the assassin skills, Fang Tian gave him a teaching CD with various skills training, so Yang Ming also had some understanding of other skills, including simple medical treatment. He also knew some. Therefore, it was not unexpected for Yang Ming to learn medical skills at this time. Moreover, Yang Ming was a hardworking person. Although on the surface, it seemed that Yang Ming was very prosperous now, and his career was very smooth, all of this was exchanged for by Yang Ming's efforts. Who knew the sweat that he had put in? Well, I will rely on the two of you to spread my medical skills. Lin Dongfang nodded and said, my memory is getting worse and worse. In the future, I have to record medical notes. Otherwise, I am afraid that I will not remember anything by then. Brother Lin, rest assured. Lu Yezi and I will do our best. Yang Ming said quickly. Well, since things have been settled, let's not talk about these boring topics. Everyone, continue to play cards. Lin Dongfang said, the purpose of my coming to this conference room is to play cards. Everyone was a little speechless. If they were playing cards, Lin Dongfang would use the excuse of his amnesia to act shamelessly. No one could really say anything. However, seeing that Lin Dongfang was like this, everyone would treat it as his last days and play with him. Sure enough, as everyone expected, Lin Dongfang often used the excuse of forgetting as an excuse to act shamelessly, but it made everyone have no temper at all. Although everyone seemed to be very cheerful when they were playing cards, everyone's mood was very heavy when they went back to rest from the conference room. Yang Ming and others had known Lin Dongfang for more than a month, and they were sworn brothers. Their relationship was naturally very deep. However, in this situation, Yang Ming was also very sad, but there was nothing he could do. Even a voodoo expert like Lan Ling said that there was no way to solve Lin Dongfang's quick cicada voodoo, then Yang Ming was even more helpless. Yang Ming didn't even know the principle of the quick cicada voodoo, let alone studying the antidote. Since Yang Ming was like this, Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing were naturally even more sad. They had worked with Lin Dongfang for the longest time. Everyone had worked together for so many years. Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing found it hard to accept when they suddenly heard this bad news. Fortunately, Lin Dongfang only had amnesia, and his life was not in danger. This made Lu Tianqi's heart slightly comforted. As long as people were alive, there was hope. At that time, if the Herculean voodoo and Jin Gang voodoo were researched, when Elder Yu's matter was over, there would be enough time. It might not be impossible to research the antidote of the quick cicada voodoo. Although Lu Tianqi also knew in his heart that this possibility was slim, he still had to give it a try when the time came. This was also a comfort he gave himself. Tianqi, don't be sad. We can't do anything about Brother Lin's matter. Now the urgent matter is to deal with Elder Yu. Only by solving Elder Yu's matter can we have more time to deal with Brother Lin's matter. Chen Shaojing comforted Lu Tianqi. Her thoughts were similar to Lu Tianqi's. I know. Lu Tianqi sighed and said, originally, with Lan Ling's participation, we could be said to be like adding wings to a tiger in refining voodoo. But now Brother Lin has this kind of thing. Without Brother Lin, it's the same as before. Chapter 2132. Although Brother Lin's life is not in danger, it is really sad to see that he will become an idiot with no memory in the future. Chen Shaojing sighed and said. You are right. As long as his life is fine, there is still hope. Lu Tianqi nodded and said. At this moment, the saddest person was Yi. Lin Dongfang was her adoptive father. She naturally didn't want anything to happen to Lin Dongfang. Although Lin Dongfang was her adoptive father, he was almost the same as her biological parents. She had relied on him since she was young. She didn't expect to hear such bad news today. Don't be sad. Things have already happened. If you are so sad every day, then father-in-law will definitely be unhappy when he sees it. Lu Yezi comforted, only when we are happy can he be at ease. You don't want him to live with entanglement and depression every day, right? Well, although I know what you said makes sense, but my heart is still very sad. Hugged her legs, sat by the river, and said weakly. You are definitely sad. I am also sad. However, as long as we defeat Elder Yu, I think we can always find a way, right? Lon Ling is from Lon Miao Village. Lon Miao Village is full of talents. There are also many experts in refining voodoo. When the time comes, we might be able to find a solution. Lu Yezi said. That is true. I will try my best. Sighed and said, Right, Lu Yezi, do you really like me? Was a little uncertain. She had not seen much of the world, but Lu Yezi came from the outside world. He had been to many countries and cities. What kind of girl had he not seen before? So didn't believe that Lu Yezi liked her so much. She was afraid that Lu Yezi had no other choice in this Medicine Valley, so he looked for her as a temporary playmate. Would definitely not accept that. She was a simpler and more conservative person. What she wanted was someone who would be faithful to her until the end of her life. It didn't matter if it was plain, but she couldn't abandon him. Yeah, I liked you from the first time I saw you. Lu Yezi didn't know why Yi asked this, but he still replied with a smile. Seeing Lu Yezi's expression, Yi couldn't help but frown slightly. I'm serious. What do you mean by that? Ugh. What I said is true. Lu Yezi quickly said, Don't you know that there is a kind of love called love at first sight? Are you saying that you fell in love at first sight? Asked. Yeah, I really liked you the first time I saw you. Lu Yezi swore to the heavens. Why do I feel like this is child's play? Do you really like me? Asked, when you were outside, you never fell in love with someone at first sight. Tell the truth or lie? Lu Yezi asked with some distress. Of course it's the truth. Said. To be honest. I really haven't. Lu Yezi smiled bitterly and said, You may not believe it, but it's true. I used to have high standards and was very picky, and I wandered the world with the mentality of gaining experience, so I have never been tempted by anyone. But when I came here, my heart suddenly calmed down. Then, when I saw you, I had an extraordinary feeling. I felt that you were my life partner. Okay, don't say it. Blushed and was a little embarrassed. What is the lie? The lie is, I have seen too many women, but they are not as good as you. Lu Yezi said, but I really didn't see it before. Pfft. Was amused by Lu Yezi's words, and her mood suddenly improved a lot. Now, my father-in-law has entrusted you to me. I have already expressed my attitude, so I will definitely treat you well in this life. Lu Yezi said, I swear, forget it, let's not talk about this. Shook her head, my foster father taught you medical skills. I hope you will study hard. After all, it is my foster father's life work. He doesn't want his medical skills to be lost. Between you and brother Yang Ming, one of you must inherit my foster father's legacy. Otherwise, my foster father will not be satisfied. I know, I will work hard. Lu Yezi nodded. He also breathed a sigh of relief. The days passed by in a dull manner. Sunrise and sunset, day after day. Every day, In addition to studying voodoo, Lin Dongfang would teach medical knowledge to Lu Yezi and Yang Ming. Although Lu Yezi and Yang Ming both studied very seriously, after a period of examination, the advantages and disadvantages of the two were immediately distinguished. Yang Ming's ability to accept things was relatively strong. Yang Ming could always memorize the knowledge that Lin Dongfang told him. He could even draw inferences. However, Lu Yezi, although he was also very serious, it was obvious that he was not a medical material. Other than memorizing things by rote, he could not draw inferences about other things. This made Lin Dongfang very disappointed, but fortunately, Yang Ming was smarter, which gave Lin Dongfang some comfort. After a long time, the gap between the two became even bigger. Lin Dongfang was not a rigid person. Seeing Lu Yezi painfully memorizing things every day, he really couldn't bear to let him continue to learn. Even if he continued to learn, it was impossible for him to inherit his mantle. It was not a problem for him to be an ordinary doctor, but it was impossible for him to become a powerful doctor. However, Yang Ming had the potential to do so. Yang Ming not only remembered the pharmacology and medicinal properties of some drugs very well, but he also remembered the acupuncture points of the human body very clearly. In terms of acupuncture, he was even more accurate. This made Lin Dongfang feel very comforted. Finally, there was a successor. I didn't expect it. Brother Yang Ming, your medical skills, if you learn it, won't be worse than mine. Lin Dongfang said with a sigh. Father-in-law, what about me? Lu Yezi asked with a bitter face. If you really don't want to learn, then forget it. I won't force you. Lin Dongfang said, your aptitude is really not suitable for studying medicine. Although you've been working very hard, you can't draw inferences. If you continue to study like this, you'll only be bound by rigid theoretical knowledge and won't be able to innovate. I can be free. Lu Yezi was stunned after hearing Lin Dongfang's words, and then asked with some surprise. Lin Dongfang was a little speechless. It turned out that this guy was waiting for this moment. In fact, this was really the case. Lu Yezi was really not a medical material. He studied here every day because he didn't want to disappoint Lin Dongfang and Yi, so he insisted on it. Chapter 2133. However, now that Lin Dongfang had brought it up, Lu Yezi naturally took advantage of the situation and agreed. This gave Lu Yezi a kind of relief. You can say that. You are also relieved. Lin Dongfang said with a bitter smile. I'm sorry, father-in-law. I have no choice. Lu Yezi smiled bitterly. I really don't have talent, forget it. This kind of thing can't be forced. The problem of aptitude can't be forced. Lin Dongfang said, even if you force yourself to learn, you will only make yourself more painful. Yeah. Lu Yezi nodded and said, please forgive me, father-in-law. It seems that only Yang Ming can be my successor. Said Lin Dongfang. How about this? When Yi and I have a child, let him learn medical skills from an early age. Lu Yezi suggested with a smile. This is a good idea, but I don't know if I can hold on until then. Lin Dongfang sighed and said. Brother Lin, you don't have to worry about this. When Lu Yezi and Yi have a child, I will teach him medical skills for you. Yang Ming said, by that time, I will have basically learned it, so this task will be handed over to me. Well, what Brother Yang Ming said is feasible. Lu Yezi, you and Yi have to hurry. Before I lose my memory, it's not bad to be able to see my grandson. Lin Dongfang said with a smile. Foster father, what are you talking about? We haven't even started yet. Said Yi. It must be settled first. Otherwise, my old bones won't have much memory left. Lin Dongfang laughed. Don't worry, father-in-law. This difficult task will be handed over to me, said Lu Yezi. Other than Yi, everyone laughed. Only Yi lowered her head shyly. The days always slipped away inadvertently. Yang Ming and Lin Dongfang were learning medical skills, while Lu Yezi and Yi were in love. But even so, Yi's character determined that she was a conservative person. Before she and Lu Yezi went through the wedding ceremony, she would not do anything excessive. Although Lin Dongfang is not conservative, he can't force Yi and Lu Yezi to do anything, right? Yang Ming's medical skills had improved by leaps and bounds under Lin Dongfang's guidance. Although he could not surpass Lin Dongfang, he had learned a lot of Lin Dongfang's essence. Lin Dongfang also knew that it was impossible for Yang Ming to eat a fatty in one sitting. Therefore, in his free time, he wrote down some of his medical experience into a medical notebook. He planned to give it to Yang Ming when he really lost his memory, so that Yang Ming could learn by himself. Seeing that Lin Dongfang's memory was deteriorating day by day, everyone was anxious in their hearts, but there was nothing they could do. Most of the time, after Lin Dongfang shared a medical topic with Yang Ming, he would not remember what he had just said and would ask Yang Ming what he had just said. However, this was also a kind of test for Yang Ming's knowledge. It also allowed Yang Ming to firmly remember what he had learned in his mind. During this period, Elder Yu also came and gave some necessities to the people in the Medicine Valley, some of the latest books on bacteriology and voodoo, and some of the latest experimental equipment. Yang Ming and the others stopped Elder Yu. Elder Yu, you have seen Brother Lin Dongfang's situation. Is there a solution? This time, Yang Ming was responsible for talking to Elder Yu. Among these people, only Yang Ming could be calm in front of Elder Yu. No. Elder Yu said resolutely. Without Brother Lin's help, the refining of Jin Gang voodoo may not be so smooth. You also understand. Yang Ming said, so, you'd better find a way to detoxify the voodoo in his body. Otherwise, we can't guarantee the refining progress of the voodoo. You should be clear that he was responsible for the voodoo refining at the beginning. He has the most information and techniques. Without his help, even if Ling Ling, a novice, joins, it won't be of much help. Yang Ming actually said this deliberately to highlight Lin Dongfang's role and weaken Ling Ling's role. Therefore, even if it took a long time to refine Jin Gang voodoo, Elder Yu would not doubt it. This also gave Yang Ming and the others enough time to refine the Herculean voodoo. Otherwise, if they used the time to refine Jin Gang voodoo to study the Herculean voodoo, he was afraid that Elder Yu would notice something wrong. Elder Yu was silent for a while. How could he not know what Yang Ming said? However, he also wanted Lin Dongfang to continue to study the voodoo, but he had no way to detoxify the quick cicada voodoo. How could he promise Yang Ming? I know what you said, but I can't do anything. Elder Yu said, I tried to detoxify him before, but I failed. The quick cicada voodoo is an extremely strange voodoo. After the voodoo enters the body, it can't be killed with ordinary methods. In other words, there is no way. Asked Yang Ming. You can say that. Elder Yu nodded. If he could detoxify the voodoo for Lin Dongfang, why would he capture Lu Tianqi to continue to study the voodoo for him? Then we can't guarantee the refining progress of Jin Gang voodoo, said Yang Ming. This doesn't matter, I can wait, said Elder Yu. You can wait, but we can't. Doesn't that mean that we have to stay here for many years? Yang Ming frowned and said, you'd better find a way to detoxify the voodoo. Yang Ming actually said this deliberately. It seemed that he was very impatient and wanted to refine Jin Gang voodoo as soon as possible. He wanted to leave here as soon as possible, which also dispelled Elder Yu's suspicion. I will try my best. Elder Yu said perfunctorily, "You guys do your best." "Okay," said Yang Ming. The arrival of Elder Yu was just a small ripple. The days passed in cycles. Lu Tianqi, Lan Ling, and Yi studied the configuration of the Herculean venomous worm. As for the Vajra venomous worm, they studied it in their free time, but there was no progress. On Lin Dongfang's side, he was getting more and more forgetful. He could barely explain some complete medical theories to Yang Ming. He could only rely on Yang Ming to ask questions in order to get answers from Lin Dongfang. As for Elder Yu, since he left, there was no news, and he did not say whether he could detoxify the quick cicada voodoo. However, Yang Ming did not have much hope for this, because if Elder Yu could solve it, he would have solved it long ago. Looking at Lin Dongfang's appearance, Yang Ming's heart was very uncomfortable. Although he knew that it was impossible to have any effect, he still asked Lan Ling during dinner, "Ling Ling, is there really no way to solve the quick cicada voodoo?" Chapter 2134. Looking at Lin Dongfang's memory deteriorating day by day, Yang Ming's heart was really uncomfortable. Lin Dongfang was his sworn brother, but if it was really based on seniority, Lin Dongfang was actually his teacher. Yang Ming was now equivalent to Lin Dongfang's disciple. He learned medical skills from him every day. If he wasn't Yang Ming's teacher, then what was he? Although there was no apprenticeship ceremony, in Yang Ming's heart, he had already regarded Lin Dongfang as an elder. Moreover, just based on the seniority of Lu Yezi and Yi, then Lin Dongfang was definitely Yang Ming's elder without a doubt. Yang Ming was a person with rich feelings. Fang Tian also said that Yang Ming's character was destined to be an assassin, but it was absolutely impossible for him to become an assassin. Assassins had feelings, and assassins were ruthless. However, from the perspective of an assassin, Yang Ming was too kind. Yang Ming cared about the old relationship, so those people around Yang Ming, as long as they didn't touch Yang Ming's bottom line and make irreparable mistakes, then Yang Ming would forgive them. From the beginning of Gui Jianchao, to Wang Shui, and even Tian Long, Yang Ming let them go one by one. Therefore, the longer Yang Ming and Lin Dongfang were together, the more Yang Ming couldn't bear to see him become a fool with amnesia. If it were other people, they might feel that as long as they learned Lin Dongfang's medical skills, they wouldn't care about him. An old man whom they just met not long ago, there was no need to spend more effort on him. But Yang Ming was different. As long as there was a possibility, Yang Ming would find a way to solve the voodoo for Lin Dongfang. Therefore, at dinner, Yang Ming once again mentioned the problem of the quick cicada voodoo to Lan Ling. "Yang Ming, you know, although my voodoo skills are very high, compared to Elder Sua and Elder Yu, I am still a little behind. If they can't do anything, I naturally can't do anything." Lan Ling sighed and said, "How can I not want to help Brother Lin get rid of his quick cicada voodoo? However, I have only heard of the voodoo of the quick cicada voodoo. I don't even know the refining method, let alone the way to solve the voodoo. AI. If I know the principle, I can find a way to solve the voodoo. But now I don't even know the refining method, it is really a bit difficult," said Yang Ming sighed. "I know a little about the principle. Elder Yu told me about it at the time. He also tried to find a way to crack the voodoo with me, but we failed. Brother Lin, you remember the past now." Yang Ming heard Lin Dongfang speak and asked with some surprise. "After listening to you for so long, if I still can't remember some things, then I am really sick and can't be saved." "Oh." Lin Dongfang smiled and said, "I have already accepted it. You don't have to worry about it. Big Brother Lin, why don't you tell us about the characteristics of the quick cicada goo? Maybe we can find a way to break it," Yang Ming suggested. "Well, since you want to hear it, then I can tell you. If I tell you, you will give up on the idea of solving the voodoo for me. Lin Dongfang nodded. Not necessarily. Ling Ling and Lu Tianqi are experts in voodoo research. Maybe we can brainstorm and think of a way to solve it, said Yang Ming. Yeah, let's think of a way together. Lu Tianqi also nodded. Only Lan Ling didn't speak because in her memory, the quick cicada voodoo couldn't be solved. It was a very special voodoo, so Lan Ling didn't have much hope for this. But since Yang Ming insisted on finding a solution, then Lan Ling could only express her support. Yes, let's think of a way. Lan Ling hesitated and said. Quick cicada voodoo, as the name suggests, is a voodoo worm that moves abnormally fast. It is not like some voodoo that exists in the form of bacteria. This quick cicada voodoo exists in the form of a voodoo worm. Moreover, there is only one voodoo worm in my body. Lin Dongfang began to introduce the quick cicada voodoo. Then, as long as we kill this voodoo worm, wouldn't everything be solved? Yang Ming was an assassin, so his idea was very simple. That was to kill the culprit. Then, the other problems would naturally be solved. Yang Ming, you are right. If we kill this voodoo worm, my problem will be solved. But the key problem is that this voodoo worm isn't so easy to kill. Lin Dongfang said, first, this voodoo worm exists in my body's meridians, not in my stomach. The general antidote drug has no effect on it. Second, if you want to use poison to kill this voodoo worm, then the poison will be absorbed by my meridians. When the voodoo worm is poisoned to death, then I am basically finished. And I don't know what kind of poison has an effect on this voodoo worm. If I randomly test a few poisons, even if I am a divine doctor, I will be finished. Then, can't we use the method of swallowing poison to be absorbed by the meridians to kill the voodoo worm? Can we use acupuncture to poison part of the meridians? In this way, even if a poison is wrong, it won't hurt the meridians of the whole body. If we test it a few more times, the impact shouldn't be big, right? Yang Ming put forward his own opinion. Moreover, if this voodoo poison exists in the form of a single voodoo worm, then we can directly perform a surgery on you to remove the voodoo worm. Isn't it fine? Is there still a need to go through so much trouble? Yang Ming, your proposal. Elder Yu and I have considered it, but it is not possible. Lin Dongfang smiled bitterly and said, the so-called quick cicada voodoo is called the quick cicada voodoo because I have already said that this voodoo worm's movement speed is very fast. This voodoo worm's position in my body is not fixed, but it is in the meridians at high speed. I don't know where it is. How can I take it out? At that time, Elder Yu took me to several hospitals with more advanced medical facilities. He also did X-ray vision, but the voodoo worm was too small to see the position clearly. Even if the position was seen clearly, when you were ready to operate on this position, the voodoo worm had already run away. What? After Yang Ming heard Lin Dongfang's words, he suddenly stood up. His eyes looked straight at Lin Dongfang, and the expression on his face was very excited. Brother Lin, you mean that this voodoo worm can't be killed because it moves too fast, and you can't find its specific position in your body? Oh. Chapter 2135. Yeah, what's the problem? Lin Dongfang nodded and looked at Yang Ming with some doubts. He didn't know why he was so excited. Then, can you kill the voodoo with a silver needle? After Yang Ming heard Lin Dongfang's words, he hurriedly continued to ask. This should be possible. Lin Dongfang still didn't understand why Yang Ming was so excited. You should have said so earlier. Yang Ming beat his chest and said, quick cicada voodoo, I thought Elder Yu came up with some crazy voodoo. I didn't expect it to be like this. Ah. Lin Dongfang looked at Yang Ming and didn't understand. What happened to Yang Ming? Could it be that he had a way to solve the voodoo? But it couldn't be. Elder, you didn't have a way. Lu Tianqi and Lan Ling also said that there was no antidote. What could Yang Ming do? Lin Dongfang really couldn't understand. Brother Lin, you should have told me the principle of this voodoo earlier. Yang Ming complained, I'm a professional in solving this kind of voodoo. Ha! A professional. Yang Ming's words made Lin Dongfang open his mouth and eyes wide. Yang Ming, are you kidding? Lu Tianqi, and the others also looked at Yang Ming strangely. They didn't know how he became a professional in solving the quick cicada voodoo. However, Lan Ling was deep in thought. Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong, and the others also frowned as if they thought of something. Why would I joke? How can I joke about this kind of thing? Yang Ming waved his hand and said, go and get Brother Lin's silver needles. I'm going to start solving the voodoo. Okay. Didn't know how Yang Ming was going to cure Lin Dongfang's goo. But when she saw his confidence, she quickly stood up and went to get some needles for Yang Ming to cure the goo. After a while, a box of silver needles was handed to Yang Ming. After disinfecting the needles with alcohol, Yang Ming said to Lin Dongfang, Brother Lin, don't move now. Stand up and stand in front of me. Now. Just like that. Although Lin Dongfang felt that it was a bit inconceivable, but because of his trust in Yang Ming, he stood up and stood in front of Yang Ming. He felt that it was impossible for Yang Ming to lie to him, and there was no need to lie to him. So, no matter whether it worked or not, he had to give it a try. And, that's it. You stand here and don't move. Brother Lin, I'm going to solve the goo for you. Yang Ming nodded and said. Okay. Lin Dongfang also smiled and stood there, letting Yang Ming do what he wanted. Yang Ming didn't move immediately, but stared at Lin Dongfang's body with his eyes. Then, like an old monk in meditation, he didn't move. The silver needles in his hand didn't make the next move. Lin Dongfang was a little scared by Yang Ming's stare. He didn't know what Yang Ming was going to do, but Lin Dongfang still stood there motionless. Obviously, he trusted Yang Ming very much. Although Yang Ming didn't seem to do anything. In fact, Yang Ming didn't do nothing, but Yang Ming used his X-ray vision and began to observe the meridians in Lin Dongfang's body. The X-ray machine and the like were simply weak in front of Yang Ming's eyes. Yang Ming began to look for the fast cicada goo that Lin Dongfang mentioned. However, there were many meridians in the human body. Yang Ming couldn't find the location of the fast cicada goo at once. He could only search slowly from top to bottom. Time passed by minute. Yang Ming still maintained his previous action and looked at Lin Dongfang, and Lin Dongfang also stood there motionless. Lu Yezi, do you think Brother Yang Ming can solve the fast cicada goo on foster father? Asked. I think it's possible. Lu Yezi understood Yang Ming's special ability, so after connecting the characteristics of the fast cicada goo mentioned by Lin Dongfang, he understood what Yang Ming was going to do. Yang Ming wanted to use X-ray vision and silver needles to kill the fast cicada goo. However, Lu Yezi wasn't sure if Yang Ming would tell these people that Yang Ming could use X-ray vision, so although he liked Yi very much, he wouldn't tell Yang Ming's secret. This was a matter of principle. So it was better to wait for Yang Ming to explain himself in a while. Lu Yezi wouldn't say a word more. At this time, when Yi asked, Lu Yezi only said that he thought it was possible. Yi actually knew that Lu Yezi might not be confident. She was just seeking psychological comfort, so after Lu Yezi finished speaking, Yi didn't ask again. Lu Tianqi and Qin Shaojing were also extremely nervous. In their hearts, they naturally wanted Lin Dongfang to be fine, but they didn't know what Yang Ming was going to do. Lon Ling, Xia Shui, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu were a little clear like Lu Yezi. They were just waiting for Yang Ming to succeed. Yang Ming was not in a hurry. Since this fast cicada goo was really like what Lin Dongfang said, running around in Lin Dongfang's meridians, then Yang Ming would eventually find its trace. Sure enough, after a long period of careful observation, Yang Ming finally saw a small thing moving rapidly in Lin Dongfang's meridians. No matter how fast this fast cicada goo was, it couldn't escape from Yang Ming's eyes. Since Yang Ming's eyes had locked onto it, then he wouldn't let it disappear from Yang Ming's sight. Yang Ming's special ability wasn't given for nothing. If he couldn't even lock onto a small fast cicada goo, then Yang Ming might as well dig out his own eyes. The next step was simple. Yang Ming just needed to determine the location of the fast cicada goo, and then directly stab it to death with a silver needle. In this case, Yang Ming thought of this and raised the silver needle in his hand, ready to do it. Yang Ming looked at the location of the fast cicada goo in Lin Dongfang's body, and then suddenly stabbed it. Ah! And the others exclaimed. They didn't expect Yang Ming to make a move just like that. There was no sign at all. However, when they saw Lin Dongfang's expressionless face, they knew that Yang Ming actually didn't stab Lin Dongfang. Sigh. Yang Ming shook his head regretfully, and somewhat helplessly pulled out the silver needle. This time, Yang Ming didn't stab the fast cicada goo in Lin Dongfang's body. The speed of the fast cicada goo was too fast, and it had already surpassed Yang Ming's technique. Moreover, it was not just a little bit more than that. Yang Ming was originally an assassin, and his hand speed was very fast. The distance between him and Lin Dongfang was close, and the silver needle was not far from Lin Dongfang's body. However, even so, Yang Ming still didn't stab the fast cicada goo. It was really the fast cicada goo, too fast. Chapter 2136. However, Yang Ming was not discouraged. This was only a matter of patience. Yang Ming believed that as long as he tried a few more times, he would be able to get rid of this fast cicada goo. After taking a deep breath, Yang Ming calmed his emotions and pulled out the silver needle, preparing to strike again. Everyone saw that Yang Ming did not explain anything, and Lin Dongfang did not say anything either. Hence, everyone did not say anything and only looked at Yang Ming nervously. Yang Ming did not care about everyone's gazes. His current thoughts were all on the fast cicada goo. His eyes were fixed on the fast cicada goo that was still moving rapidly, waiting for the next opportunity to strike. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yang Ming finally moved. He struck again and used the silver needle to pierce the fast cicada goo. However, when the silver needle touched Lin Dongfang's body, Yang Ming's eyes flashed with a trace of regret. He shook his head helplessly. This time, it only pierced Lin Dongfang's skin and did not even touch his meridians. Because the result this time was still regrettable. It did not pierce the fast cicada goo. Hence, Yang Ming did not have the need to continue piercing and directly stopped the silver needle in his hand. As for Lin Dongfang, after being pierced twice by Yang Ming, he could not help but ask, Yang Ming, you want to kill the fast cicada goo? Yes, but this fast cicada goo is moving too fast. It is not easy. Yang Ming sighed, but his eyes were still locked on the fast cicada goo. He did not let it out of Yang Ming's sight. Ah. Lin Dongfang was only asking casually. He did not expect Yang Ming to kill the fast cicada goo. He thought that Yang Ming was using some secret method to force the fast cicada goo out of his body. Unexpectedly, Yang Ming admitted it so easily. You know the location of the fast cicada goo? Lu Tianqi could not help but ask. Ever since Yang Ming had arrived at the Medicine Valley, he had never told Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and the rest about his X-ray vision ability. This was because Yang Ming's ability had no practical use in the Medicine Valley. It was not that Yang Ming was deliberately hiding it. Since Yang Ming could tell Lu Yezi, Feng Tianlong and the others, it meant that Yang Ming wasn't afraid of the people around him knowing about his ability. And Lin Dongfang and Lu Tianqi, these two people were very close to him. Yang Ming didn't have to hide it. It was just that he didn't have a chance to say it. Since he didn't need it, Yang Ming didn't say it. It wasn't that Yang Ming didn't want to say it. I'll explain it to you later. Yang Ming couldn't explain it clearly in a few words. It was better to deal with the fast cicada goo first and then explain his ability to them in detail. Moreover, Yang Ming's main focus was on the fast cicada goo in Lin Dongfang's body. He didn't have time to explain too much. Brother Lin, do you believe me? Looking at the doubt on Lin Dongfang's face, Yang Ming smiled and asked. Of course I believe you. Lin Dongfang said without hesitation. Then it's fine. Wait until I deal with the fast cicada goo, then I'll tell you the reason. Yang Ming said as he raised the silver needle again. Okay. Lin Dongfang nodded and didn't ask anymore. He stood there and let Yang Ming do what he wanted. This time, Yang Ming was more cautious than before. He was calculating the movement trajectory of the fast cicada goo. The moment Yang Ming made his move, the fast cicada goo had already run far away. So no matter how fast Yang Ming made his move, once Yang Ming saw it and transmitted it to his brain would send out a command signal. This couldn't be compared to the speed of the fast cicada goo. Even if Yang Ming was an assassin and was very good, Yang Ming couldn't make a move without delay. Since that was the case, Yang Ming gave up on the method of stabbing wherever he saw it. Instead, he calculated and simulated the movement speed of the fast cicada goo. This time, Yang Ming saw the position of the fast cicada goo. Then, like the previous two times, he stabbed the silver needle into Lin Dongfang's body. Yang Ming's gaze was also fixed on the fast cicada goo. From this, Yang Ming could determine the distance. That was, from the time he saw the fast cicada goo to the time he inserted the silver needle into Lin Dongfang's body, the fast cicada goo had already moved about 6 centimeters. This data was very important. Yang Ming only had to remember this data. The next time he inserted the silver needle, he just had to move the silver needle forward by 6 centimeters. Of course, this had to be done in a straight meridian. If it was a complicated meridian, the fast cicada goo might choose a fork in the meridian and walk away. Yang Ming didn't know which direction it would go because its movement trajectory had no pattern. But Yang Ming wasn't in a hurry. There would be a time when you would walk in a straight meridian, right? You might be proud now, but in a while, you will be in Yang Ming's pocket. Sure enough, after a while, the fast cicada goo entered a straight meridian in Lin Dongfang's body. Yang Ming saw the opportunity and made his move. He inserted the silver needle into Lin Dongfang's meridian with a whoosh. However, the result this time still disappointed Yang Ming. It was only a few millimeters of deviation. Yang Ming still didn't use the silver needle to pierce the fast cicada goo. But Yang Ming had enough patience. If he couldn't do it once, then he would continue. Yang Ming was going to waste time with this fast cicada goo today. Let's see if it would go through such a straight meridian next time. However, the fast cicada goo seemed to be able to understand Yang Ming's thoughts. It really didn't go through such a straight meridian, so Yang Ming couldn't do anything. Yang Ming wasn't in a hurry. He just stared at it. Yang Ming didn't think this fast cicada goo had any intelligence. It was just a coincidence, so Yang Ming was waiting for the next opportunity. Finally, the opportunity came after more than an hour. Just when everyone didn't know what Yang Ming was going to do next, Yang Ming made his move again. This time, Yang Ming calculated the distance and inserted the silver needle directly into the fast cicada goo. The fast cicada goo that was moving at a high speed suddenly stopped. It couldn't move because of Yang Ming's silver needle. It's done. Yang Ming suddenly grinned and said with some joy. It's done. Lin Dongfang was stunned. Everyone else was stunned too. Yeah, we caught the fast cicada goo. Yang Ming smiled and said, Brother Lin, this time you don't have to lose your memory. Caught. Just like that. You used the silver needle to pierce it and killed the fast cicada goo. Lin Dongfang looked at Yang Ming in disbelief and asked. It didn't die. This little thing's vitality is very strong. Yang Ming glanced at the fast cicada goo in Lin Dongfang's body and said, Let's take this little thing out first. Oh. Chapter 2137. Not dead. Then don't kill it. Lan Ling quickly said to Yang Ming. The quick cicada goo was very rare. Lan Ling had never seen it before. Lan Ling naturally wanted to see this kind of strange voodoo to gain some knowledge. Perhaps, according to this quick cicada goo, the antidote of the quick cicada goo could be developed. Even if it couldn't, this little thing might be a trump card against Elder Yu. Therefore, Lan Ling stopped Yang Ming from killing the quick cicada goo. Oh, I wanted to give it another needle. Thank you for reminding me. Yang Ming smiled. Did you really catch the quick cicada goo? Lin Dongfang still didn't quite believe it. Can you take it out? Yes, but don't be afraid of pain. Yang Ming smiled and turned to look at Yi. Then he said, Yi, go and get me the scalpel. I will take this little thing out. Ah, okay. Although Yi felt a little scared, she still followed Yang Ming's words. After a while, Yi took a scalpel and handed it to Yang Ming. Here, Yang Ming took the scalpel and smiled. Brother Lin, you bear with it. I am going to cut you. Ha. It's okay. Come on. However, Lin Dongfang smiled indifferently and said, I can still endure this pain. You underestimate me too much. Okay. Then I will cut it. Yang Ming nodded and didn't hesitate. He directly opened a small hole on the silver needle on Lin Dongfang's body. It was neither big nor small. It was just right. Yang Ming was also a master of using a knife. He had learned from Fang Tian for a long time and practiced for a long time. Therefore, Yang Ming's technique was not worse than Lin Dongfang's. See. Although Lin Dongfang said it nicely, there was still pain. He just didn't cry out. He frowned and saw that Yang Ming had already pulled out the silver needle. On the silver needle, there was a small worm moving around. It was obviously the quick cicada goo. Lin Dongfang, who saw this scene, forgot the pain for a while. He looked at Yang Ming in amazement. You really did it. It can't be. Am I dreaming? Come, pinch foster father again. See if foster father is dreaming. Father. Doesn't the wound on your body hurt? Said helplessly. Oh. Yes, it hurts. At this time, Lin Dongfang felt the pain from the wound, but he was very happy and said, I'm really not dreaming. Very good, very good. Father, be careful. Don't make the wound more serious. Took a bottle of wound medicine and handed it to Lin Dongfang. This was the wound medicine that Lin Dongfang made himself. The effect was excellent. After applying it to the wound, it could stop the bleeding instantly. After the wound healed, it would not leave a scar. Everyone was in this medicine valley. It was inevitable that they would get injured while collecting herbs. Therefore, Lin Dongfang made a lot of wound medicine for everyone to use together. Lin Dongfang took the wound medicine and applied it to the wound casually. He was also a doctor. Naturally, he knew that this degree of wound had little effect on people. With his own special medicine, it was naturally easy to heal. Yang Ming handed the silver needle in his hand to Lan Ling. Lan Ling was not afraid. He looked at the quick cicada goo in his hand with interest. On Lu Tianqi's side, he also had a lot of research on voodoo. At this time, he had already prepared a special container for cultivating voodoo and handed it to Lan Ling. Lan Ling threw the quick cicada goo into the container. The overbearing quick cicada goo in Lin Dongfang's body was quiet at this moment. It stayed quietly in the container and was very obedient. Little thing, wait for me to study you when I have time. Lan Ling gave the container to Lu Tianqi and motioned him to put it away first. Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, Chen Shaojing, and Yi did not expect that the quick cicada voodoo, which had been troubling Lin Dongfang for so long, was so easily solved by Yang Ming in one day. Not only did he solve it, but he also caught it alive. AI. If I knew that you had such ability, I would have let you catch this little thing for me. I didn't have to wait until now. What a scam. Lin Dongfang said with a wry smile, if I knew this, I wouldn't be in a hurry to write medical notes. I've been writing such a thick book these days. I'm so tired. Yeah, bro, if you had thought of this method earlier, I wouldn't have to suffer for so long. I'm not good at medicine, but I still learned medical skills for so long. It's really a scam. Lu Yezi also said with a bitter face. Ha! Lin Dongfang listened to Lu Yezi's words and suddenly laughed. In that case, I don't have to suffer. However, I originally wanted to learn medical skills. I have learned a lot of things recently. I have to thank Brother Lin. Now, Brother Lin won't regret teaching me your unique skills, right? Yang Ming asked with a smile. What are you saying? You are my savior. What's the point of me teaching you something? Even if you didn't save me, if you wanted to learn, with our relationship, would have taught you everything. Lin Dongfang said, well, let's continue every day in the future. I will teach you medical skills, but you don't have to be so anxious. I will also contribute to the research of the goo poison. Okay. Yang Ming nodded. By the way, you haven't told me yet. How did you catch this quick cicada goo? Isn't it too magical? You only stabbed it twice and you got it. Lin Dongfang asked curiously. This. I have to talk about it from my special ability. As Yang Ming said, he told Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and Chen Shaojing about his X-ray vision. Lu Yezi, Xia Shui, and others knew about Yang Ming's ability. At this moment, there was no special reaction. However, Lin Dongfang and others were amazed. They really didn't expect that Yang Ming was actually a psychic. Great! Lu Tianqi suddenly slapped his thigh and jumped up. Everyone was amazed by Yang Ming's special ability at this moment. Lu Tianqi suddenly stood up and shouted, which shocked everyone. What's wrong? What are you shouting for? Chen Shaojing looked at Lu Tianqi with some blame. She didn't know what he was shouting for. Yang Ming, you have this ability. It is very helpful for us to refine the goo poison. Lu Tianqi said, the reason why we often fail to refine the Jin Gang goo is that we can't see the situation in the petri dish. We can only wait for the time to open the petri dish. If we can observe the situation in the petri dish at all times, it is very important for refining the Jin Gang goo. Oh. You mean, you want me to use X-ray vision to see the situation inside? But X-ray and the like, can't it be done? Yang Ming asked slightly. Chapter 2138. No, the Jin Gang voodoo is very fragile in its initial stage. Any kind of radiation can kill it. Even a little electromagnetic interference can't be used. So, whether it's a camera or an X-ray, they can't be used. Lu Tianqi shook his head and said, "This is one of the reasons why the Jin Gang voodoo is difficult to configure. We can't track it all the time. We can only wait slowly. When the time is right, we can open the device. If it works, we can. If it doesn't, we can't." So that's the case. Yang Ming nodded. If this is the case, then my ability can be of help. That's right, how could I forget about that? Lan Ling had long known about Yang Ming's ability, but she didn't think of this. After coming here, she followed the routine and studied the Jin Gang voodoo with Lin Dongfang and Lu Tianqi. The method was also the previous method. Lan Ling didn't think that Yang Ming's ability could be improved. Now that she heard Lu Tianqi mention this, she suddenly patted her forehead and her eyes lit up. You should have said so earlier. Brother Yang Ming, with your addition, it seems that we really have hope to get out of this medicine valley and get rid of Elder Yu's restraints. Lin Dongfang also laughed and said. It seemed that Lin Dongfang was also very happy. Yang Ming, thank you so much for saving my foster father. Among them, the most excited one wasn't Lin Dongfang himself, but Yi. Seeing that the quick cicada voodoo that her foster father was most worried about was solved, she sincerely thanked Yang Ming from the bottom of her heart. You don't have to thank me. It's just a small matter. Yang Ming said with a smile, you're treating me like an outsider. What are you talking about? You should call me Uncle Yang. Why are you calling me Yang Ming? Lin Dongfang stared and said, Yang Ming is my brother, so he is your uncle. Aren't you messing up the seniority? Yi was a little flustered by Lin Dongfang's words. She blushed and didn't know what to say. Big brother Lin, this is where you are wrong. Yang Ming smiled and mediated, it's true that I am your brother, but Lu Yezi is also my underling. And Yi is now his girlfriend, so she is my sister-in-law. It is reasonable for her to call me big brother. If you don't let her call me big brother, then call me uncle. What do you want Lu Yezi to call me? This. Lin Dongfang thought that what Yang Ming said made sense. The seniority was a bit messed up. In the beginning, he agreed to Lu Yezi and Yi's matter with the intention of entrusting his will to them. He didn't think about the many intricate and complicated relationships in this matter because at that time, he was about to lose his memory. He couldn't even think about the serious matters. How could he have the time to think about these things? But now, the swift cicada goo had been removed, and he no longer lost his memory. He had no choice but to consider these problems. Big brother Lin, let's do it this way. There is no conflict between us. Anyway, Yi is just your adopted daughter, not your biological daughter. This seniority is not so important, right? Yang Ming explained with a smile. You're right. Okay, then let's do it this way. We are still brothers. I don't care how Yi calls you. Lin Dongfang was not a rigid person. He asked Yi to change her previous address because he was afraid that Yang Ming would be unhappy after hearing it. After all, Yang Ming was now his savior. If Yang Ming was unhappy because of Yi's neglect, it would be a sin. But now, it seemed that Yang Ming didn't care about this, and Lin Dongfang was a person who didn't care about trifles. That's right. Yang Ming smiled and said, tonight, it seems that we have to celebrate again. Big brother Lin's swift cicada goo has been removed. There will be no more worries in the future. We can also study the Jin Gang goo and Vigor goo without worry. However, Tian Qi and Xiao Jing's voodoo hasn't been cured yet. Although Elder you will give them the antidote every once in a while, the feeling of being controlled by someone is really uncomfortable. Lin Dongfang said. I have also checked their goo poison. There is no danger. Lon Ling nodded and said. The voodoo that Brother Tianqi and Sister Xiao Jing were inflicted with was not the same as the voodoo that Yang Ming and I were inflicted with. It was one level lower than ours. Even if it had been there for a long time, it would not have any effect. I think Elder you learned to be smart because of your swift cicada goo, so he didn't give Brother Tianqi and Sister Xiaojing the goo poison that has side effects. Oh. No problem. That's good. Lu Tianqi was relieved after hearing Lon Ling's words. Although I have dabbled in voodoo, the information that Elder you gave me is not complete. He is also afraid that I can get rid of the voodoo in my body and escape from his control. Yes, but me, Yang Ming, and the others have a bigger hatred with Elder Yu, so the goo poison he gave us has side effects. Fortunately, we have the super goo antidote pill, and Xia Shui can also remove it. Speaking of this, Lon Ling looked at Xia Shui with a deep meaning, which made Xia Shui's face turn red. Lon Ling continued, Brother Tianqi and Sister Xiaojing's goo poison can also be removed with the super goo antidote pill. This is not a problem. There are enough materials in the Medicine Valley to refine the super goo antidote pill. Although I can't refine it now, after a long period of experimentation, I should be able to refine it. If it really can't be done, after leaving the Medicine Valley, I will ask my grandmother or Grandpa Zhua to help you refine it. The goo poison in your body is definitely not a problem. I see. That's good. Lu Tianqi was relieved. Then our next step is to focus on dealing with Elder Yu. Therefore, after the addition of Yang Ming, everyone's experiment progress was like adding wings to a tiger. In an instant, it became much faster. The speed of the experiment was faster, and the efficiency was naturally higher. As long as the goo poison entered the petri dish, through Yang Ming's observation, he could directly see whether the goo poison was successfully refined. There was no need to wait for the specified days to open the petri dish. In this way, under Yang Ming's X-ray vision, if it was not possible, they could change it. There was some progress on the Jin Gang goo. But there was still no progress on the Herculean goo. Although everyone now put a lot of energy into refining the Herculean voodoo, and only spent a little time refining the Vajra voodoo every day, after all, the Vajra voodoo had been studied for more than 10 years. They had accumulated a lot of experience. With Yang Ming's participation, the refining progress was much faster. The Herculean goo was different. Although Lon Ling had refined it for a period of time before, she did not succeed after all. The information in her hands was limited, and now it was still in the initial stage of exploration. Chapter 2139. Moreover, the Herculean voodoo was studied by two people together. Lon Ling was only one person now. She had to tell others about the situation and information of the Herculean voodoo. Naturally, the progress was much slower. The most important point was that the refining materials of the Jin Gang voodoo were all complete. The establishment of this Medicine Valley could be said to be a priority for the refining service of the Jin Gang voodoo. Therefore, the refining materials of the Jin Gang voodoo were all available. Every year, Lin Dongfang and others would plant a lot of medicinal materials for the refining of the Jin Gang voodoo. But the Herculean voodoo was different. Although the medicinal materials needed for the Herculean voodoo could be found in this Medicine Valley, the quantity was much less. It couldn't withstand long-term testing. It was estimated that these medicinal materials would be used up after a few times. Therefore, the most urgent matter was that Lon Ling listed all the medicinal materials needed for the Herculean voodoo and increased the number of planting. However, planting medicinal materials wasn't something that could be done overnight. It required a period of growth and maturity. Therefore, although the focus of the research was on the Herculean voodoo every day, it was mostly around theoretical knowledge and not practical experiments. The Jean Gang voodoo was different. There were experiments every day. The problem of the survival rate of the voodoo in the initial stage was successfully solved under Yang Ming's X-ray vision. Now, the refining of the Jean Gang voodoo had officially entered the next step. The first step was the most important and the most difficult step. If the initial larva of the voodoo couldn't be cultivated, the subsequent work couldn't be carried out. The previous defective version of the Jean Gang voodoo was also because the larva of the Jean Gang voodoo couldn't be cultivated, so other methods were used to replace the cultivation of the larva. At first, the blood of wild dogs was used to sacrifice the larva of the voodoo, but Elder Yu made an ingenious change and used human blood. Although the effect was improved a lot, the voodoo was also much more evil. Lin Dongfang was very unhappy, but there was no way to stop Elder Yu from sacrificing. But now, it was half successful. The next step was to continue to make this Jean Gang voodoo into a mature voodoo. Of course, there were still many steps after that. However, since the first step was successful, then the following steps would not be so difficult. Day after day, month after month. In the blink of an eye, more than half a year had passed since Yang Ming came to the Medicinal Valley. This half a year was neither long nor short. Although there was some progress in the refinement of the Jean Gang goo, there was still no progress in the refinement of the Herculean goo. Fortunately, all the herbs needed for the Herculean venomous worm had been planted. The next problem was how to develop it. That night, Yang Ming, Lan Ling, and Xia Shui didn't sleep. The three of them lay in the open space of the Medicine Valley and looked up at the starry sky. It's been more than half a year. In the blink of an eye, I've been in the Medicine Valley for more than half a year. I wonder how my family is doing. Yang Ming lamented. I've lost contact with my family. I wonder if Meng Yan and the rest are doing well. Do my parents miss me? Yang Ming, you're going to marry me tomorrow, but you're thinking about another woman today. It's so infuriating. Xia Shui snorted, but she wasn't unhappy. It could be heard that she wasn't angry. In fact, Xia Shui was also lamenting. She left for more than half a year. She didn't know when she could go back. Hee hee. Yang Ming smiled and held Xia Shui in his arms. Tomorrow was the day for him, Xia Shui, Lu Yezi, Yi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu to get married. According to Lin Dongfang, tomorrow was an auspicious day. He didn't know whether it was true or not, but in any case, the three couples were preparing to get married together. After getting along for more than half a year, Yang Ming and Xia Shui were no longer quarrelsome like before. The relationship between the two was also much more easygoing. The relationship between Xia Shui and Lan Ling was also good. It was time for them to get married. As for Lu Yezi and Yi, they also got along very well. There was also some meaning between the two of them, and they were just short of getting married. However, Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu didn't have much to say. When the two of them just arrived at the Medicine Valley, they confirmed their relationship, so the two of them were also very supportive of getting married. Tonight, Lu Yezi, Yi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu would probably have a sleepless night. Everyone was getting married in this barren Medicine Valley. It was a little novel, but it was also a little miserable. There were no guests, no parents, and no family. This wedding was not a wedding at all. Yang Ming, do you think we can still go out? Although Xia Shui felt that in the Medicine Valley, she could spend the rest of her life with Yang Ming, but she actually wanted to go back. Her family and friends were not here. Everyone would miss them. Of course. Yang Ming smiled and said, in the beginning, the seemingly difficult Jean Gang goo was already beginning to show results, right? Moreover, although the refining of the Jin Gang Gu was somewhat difficult, now, under Ling Ling's leadership, everyone has some preliminary results. The herbs in the Medicine Valley have also grown. It can be said that victory is in sight. And I believe in you. Xia Shui nodded solemnly and suddenly smiled. Yang Ming, I really didn't expect that in the end, I would still marry you and let you become my long-term meal ticket. Haha. After listening to Xia Shui's words, Yang Ming couldn't help but think of the scene when he first met Xia Shui. It seemed like it was just yesterday, but in the blink of an eye, Xia Shui was lying in his arms. You're still smiling. I really didn't expect. Xia Shui shook her head. Why? Are you regretting it? Asked Yang Ming. No, I'm just a little surprised, said Xia Shui. The next morning, under the auspices of Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and Qin Shaojing, Yang Ming, Xia Shui, and Lan Ling were together. Feng Tianlong and Xiao Susu were together. Lu Yezi and Yi were together. They were preparing to get married. Lan Ling was purely here to join in the fun. She said that she had not done the wedding ceremony and wanted to try how it felt. However, Xia Shui and Lan Ling's relationship was very good now. Naturally, she wouldn't mind. With Lan Ling accompanying her, she felt more at ease. Otherwise, she would be nervous to death. One must know that although this was different from a large-scale wedding, it was still considered a wedding here. How could Xia Shui not be nervous? This was a big event of a lifetime. Lu Yezi, Yi, Feng Tianlong, and Xiao Susu were also very nervous. There wasn't a magnificent wedding car, nor a luxurious wedding, but this simple Medicine Valley made everyone feel very warm. Chapter 2140. With heaven and earth as the witness and the sun and moon as the mediator, a wedding of this standard was not something most people could have. The auspicious time has arrived, first bow to heaven and earth, second bow to the parents, husband and wife bow to each other, entering the bridal chamber. Lin Dongfang shouted at the top of his voice. Lin Dongfang's voice was immediately met with bursts of laughter. There was no bridal chamber, just the villa from before. It was simply decorated and some flowers were placed at the door to act as the bridal chamber. The word happiness was also cut on paper, there was no ready-made product here. As for those festive gongs and drums, it was naturally impossible to have them. But this simple wedding made everyone feel that it was not bad, especially when the three couples were having a wedding together, it was very lively. As the saying goes, after a long drought comes rain, meeting an old friend in a foreign land. On the bridal chamber, on the golden roll. Of these four, Yang Ming already had two of them. Meeting an old friend in a foreign land, he met Lu Tianqi, his god-brother in the Medicine Valley. If this was not meeting an old friend in a foreign land, then what was it? On the golden roll, Yang Ming was admitted to university, it was also considered to be on the golden roll. And on the other hand, although he did not encounter it, he got rid of Lin Dongfang's venom for a long time. It was also considered to be rain after a long drought. Now, only the bridal chamber was left. Although Yang Ming had many wives, the ones who were really going to go through the wedding ceremony were Xia Shui and Lan Ling. Under such an atmosphere, it was inevitable that Yang Ming would be very excited. Lu Yezi carried Yi, Feng Tianlong carried Xiao Susu, and Yang Ming carried one in each hand, Lan Ling on the left and Xia Shui on the right. They ran to the bridal chamber together. In exchange, Lin Dongfang, Lu Tianqi, and Qin Shaojing burst into laughter behind them. This was a happy day. After the wedding, they once again entered the intense research and development of the venom. The Jin Gang venom technology was getting more and more mature, and the Herculean venom was being researched with difficulty. Elder Yu came a few more times during this period, but he only put down some necessities and left. He was too lazy to ask about the research results. In the past, he asked a lot, but there was no progress. He did not expect to have any achievements in a short period of time. Elder Yu's attitude allowed Yang Ming and others to take advantage of the loophole. The success of the Jin Ganggu was in sight, but Elder Yu did not know. This was also the effect that Yang Ming and the others wanted. Jin Ganggu was refined. Even if it was the complete version of Jin Ganggu, after they consumed it, they probably couldn't do anything to Elder Yu. He might be able to escape, but it was hard to say whether he could fight head-on with Elder Yu. First of all, the incomplete version of Jin Ganggu that Elder Yu was currently cultivating was actually not much different from Jin Ganggu in terms of effect. It was just that there was a time limit. He could not let Jin Ganggu be effective all the time. Therefore, if they fought head-on, Elder Yu could still run if he couldn't win. Everyone was in an invincible state. No one could do anything to the other. Moreover, who knew if this Jin Ganggu had any loopholes or backdoors? If Elder Yu knew and everyone didn't, then it would not be fun. At that time, everyone was full of hope to deal with Elder Yu. If he knew the weakness of the Jin Ganggu, these people would be completely wiped out. Therefore, even if the Jin Ganggu was refined, everyone would not act rashly. They still had to wait for the Herculean Strength Gu to be completed. Because in the records of Lan Miao village, the Herculean Strength Gu was the nemesis of the Jin Ganggu. Only warriors who consumed the Herculean Strength Gu could defeat the Jin Ganggu. However, no one knew what the warriors who consumed the Herculean Strength Gu would be like. Because the records were not detailed, Lan Ling could only experiment slowly. In the blink of an eye, more than half a month had passed. In the research room, there was good news. That was, the official version of the Jin Ganggu had been refined successfully. However, the quantity was limited. Although the initial materials of the Jin Ganggu were endless, the catalytic enzyme needed for the final step was provided by Elder Yu. It was said that it was passed down together with the refining information of the Jin Ganggu. There was only one small bottle, and it was extinct now. Therefore, although the larvae of the Jin Ganggu were cultivated, only a small portion of them could be successfully catalyzed and become the official version of the Jin Ganggu. This small portion of the Jin Ganggu was only enough for 3 people to consume. In other words, only 3 people could become the beneficiaries of the Jin Ganggu. Of course, this was not a hurry. After the Jin Ganggu was cultivated, they could put it aside first. Then, they could settle down and slowly cultivate the Herculean Strength Gu. After everyone temporarily sealed the Jin Ganggu, all the work focus was on the development of the Herculean Strength Gu. They hoped to develop the Herculean Strength Gu as soon as possible. As the days passed, everyone had the experience of studying the Jin Ganggu. The Herculean Strength Gu was actually not very difficult. The most important thing was still the catalytic enzyme. Just like the Jin Ganggu, for the complete refinement of the Herculean Strength Gu, it also required an activation catalytic enzyme. Without the catalytic enzyme, it was impossible. This catalytic enzyme was not fortunately passed down like the Jin Ganggu. This depended on everyone's configuration, so the difficulty of the work could be seen at once. This was quite difficult. Therefore, everyone's research focus was on the catalytic enzyme. Yang Ming also had some achievements now because he had learned medical skills. Naturally, he also participated in it and planned to contribute. Of course, the cultivation of the Gu worm could not be taken lightly. Both were carried out at the same time, everyone had rich experience, and the speed of the research was naturally faster. On this day, there was finally some progress on the Herculean Strength Gu. The Gu worm of the Herculean Strength Gu had been successfully cultivated. Now, it was the research of the catalytic enzyme. Elder Yu came a few more times, but everyone had a tacit understanding and didn't show anything. Elder Yu naturally left without any doubt. It was not that Elder Yu trusted these people so much that he did not install some monitoring equipment in the Medicine Valley to monitor everyone. It was because he was afraid that Yang Ming and the others in the Medicine Valley would contact the outside world, so he blocked the radio signal here. Therefore, even if he installed the monitoring equipment himself, he could not transmit a signal. In this way, it was convenient for Yang Ming and the others to do some little tricks behind the scenes, and Elder Yu naturally would not find anything. Finally, with everyone's efforts, the catalytic enzyme of the Herculean strength goo was successfully refined. This was great news, and everyone was very happy. Although it was only a successful refinement, it did not mean that it could be used after success. It also did not mean that the voodoo of the Herculean strength goo could be refined after using it. However, this was a good start. This was also half the success. How could everyone not be happy? Chapter 2141. So in the evening, under the advocacy of Yang Ming, everyone held a small banquet to celebrate. At the banquet, everyone drank a lot of wine. Although the wine was brewed by themselves, it was not intoxicating. Everyone was happy. It was likely that success was in front of them. So this night, everyone was drunk in the end. They slept in the open air on the open space of the Medicine Valley. However, the next thing was not smooth. Under the effect of the catalytic enzyme, the Herculean voodoo failed several times. The concentration of the catalytic enzyme also had a high requirement. The catalytic enzyme of the Jin Gang voodoo was pre-configured. There was only one bottle, and it was handed down from a long time ago. So as long as it was added, then it could be refined into the Jin Gang voodoo. However, the catalytic enzyme of the Herculean voodoo was different. The concentration and dilution had to be adjusted by themselves. Even the slightest deviation was not allowed. However, at this level of research, everyone would not be too anxious. One day, the research would be successful, so there was no need to be too anxious. It would be a mistake because of short-sightedness. At the same time, in a house in Songjiang City, two people were sitting in front of a computer. These two people were Dong Jun and Huang Yukai. The two people had opened their hearts and talked about each other's matters. Huang Yukai also knew Dong Jun's difficulties and the many reasons why he gave up dealing with Yang Ming. Dong Jun also knew Huang Youcai's current thoughts. There was no hatred in Huang Youcai's heart, and he had become a normal person. His only hope was to let his sister, Huang Lele, live a happy life, but the premise was that Yang Ming could return safely. Therefore, Huang Yukai was particularly concerned about Yang Ming's safety. At this moment, Dong Jun was chatting with Dr. Benjamin. "Falcon, how have you been recently? Is there any news of the little girl and Sun Sikong?" Dr. Benjamin's question was almost the same as every time. It was mechanical. "Doctor, you also know that after they left Songjiang City, they should not have come back. I have tried my best to monitor them, but there is no news." Dong Jun lied directly. I know. You just do your job." Dr. Benjamin said faintly. "Yes. I understand." Dong Jun replied. "By the way, aren't you going to deal with Yang Ming? How are you handling it?" asked Dr. Benjamin suddenly. "Ah." Dong Jun was stunned. He did not expect Dr. Benjamin to suddenly ask about this matter. He was a little caught off guard. However, Dr. Benjamin could not see Dong Jun's expression through the computer screen. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him not to reveal any flaws. "Doctor, I haven't done anything to him recently. I've obeyed your orders and temporarily put aside my personal grudges. I haven't done anything to Yang Ming." Dong Jun replied. "Oh, what is Yang Ming doing now?" Dr. Benjamin continued to ask. Dong Jun looked at the question on the screen strangely and quickly replied, Doctor, I'm sorry, I need to go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Well, you go ahead. We'll talk about it when you come back. Dr. Benjamin did not seem to suspect that Dong Jun was lying to him. Yukai, help me analyze it. Why is Dr. Benjamin suddenly interested in Yang Ming? In the past, when I took the initiative to mention it, he didn't want me to trouble Yang Ming. Why did he suddenly mention this today? This. I don't quite understand it because I'm not very familiar with Dr. Benjamin. My impression of him comes from your description. Huang Yukai smiled bitterly. But I think since he asked you this, he should be interested in something about Yang Ming, or he found something. Found what? It can't be, right? He found out that I want to betray him. Dong Jun asked. This is hard to say, but the possibility is not high. Huang Yukai shook his head. But I think that if he asks you something, you should answer normally. Don't hide it. Let's see what Dr. Benjamin means first. All right. Dong Jun nodded and pretended to have just returned from the toilet. He said to Dr. Benjamin, Doctor, I'm back. What did you just ask? Yang Ming. Yes, what has Yang Ming been doing recently? Do you have any news about him? Asked Dr. Benjamin. Before that, I always wanted to deal with him, so I cooperated with a person called Elder Yu. Dong Jun did not hide it as Huang Yukai said. He told the plan to deal with Yang Ming to Elder Yu. After that, he went to Miaojiang to deal with Elder Yu. So, he is not on your side now, but he went to Miaojiang? Asked Dr. Benjamin. This is the case. He has been gone for half a year, said Dong Jun. Then, do you have any news about him? Did Elder Yu successfully deal with him? Asked Dr. Benjamin. This. I don't know. Since you didn't let me continue to deal with Yang Ming, I thought about using Elder Yu to teach Yang Ming a lesson. I didn't know the specific result. Said Dong Jun, I haven't been in contact with Elder Yu recently. I really don't know. Oh, then you contact him and ask if Yang Ming is still alive, said Dr. Benjamin. Okay, no problem, but doctor, why are you suddenly interested in Yang Ming? Asked Dong Jun inexplicably. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Replied Dr. Benjamin. Dong Jun was very depressed, but he still replied, yes. However, it's okay to tell you this. I received news that Yang Ming has some special abilities, which are superpowers. It seems to have something to do with the glasses we are looking for. For the specific situation, I haven't found the exact evidence here. I am investigating Yang Ming, so I want you to understand it first. Said Dr. Benjamin. What? Yang Ming. He has superpowers. Dong Jun was stunned and said, okay, then I will ask. Dong Jun didn't know whether Yang Ming had superpowers, but since Yang Ming could join the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and be valued by the people of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, he naturally had Yang Ming's abilities. So, Dong Jun would believe that Yang Ming really had any superpowers. However, Dr. Benjamin is going to deal with Yang Ming. Is this good or bad for me? Dong Jun frowned. He was somewhat happy and worried. On the one hand, if Dr. Benjamin wanted to deal with Yang Ming, then Yang Ming had to be an enemy of Dr. Benjamin. As for helping him get away from the central control, it was also equivalent to helping Dr. Benjamin. It was a convenient thing. Chapter 2142. But on the other hand, Yang Ming was Dong Jun's trump card to deal with Dr. Benjamin. If Dr. Benjamin figured out Yang Ming's details early, how could he win by surprise? When Yang Ming's weakness was also known by him, wouldn't Dong Jun be at a disadvantage? I just heard about it. I haven't gotten the specific information yet, so you should help me investigate it. Dr. Benjamin said, haven't you fought with Yang Ming so many times? Don't you know if Yang Ming has any special abilities? I really didn't pay attention to it. Dong Jun was telling the truth. He wasn't lying. When I fought with him, I only knew that he was the apprentice of the King of Assassins, Fang Tian. The next generation of King of Assassins is very powerful. But other than that, I really don't know what other abilities he has. Well, no matter what, you should investigate first. Dr. Benjamin said, I will also start investigating. Okay, no problem. Dong Jun said, I will try to contact the people around Yang Ming to see if there is any situation. Okay, but you have to be careful. Don't let anyone find any flaws. Dr. Benjamin reminded, if there is any flaw, even if you die, don't say anything about Central. Don't worry, Dr. Benjamin. I will be careful. Dong Jun was very happy. During this period of contact with the people around Yang Ming, he had a feeling of anxiety. He was afraid that if he contacted more, Dr. Benjamin would suspect something. But now, it was good. He could contact them casually, and he didn't have to worry that Dr. Benjamin would find anything unusual. Thinking of this, Dong Jun continued, Yang Ming and I are brothers. No one will be suspicious if we go around. That's good. Dr. Benjamin said, that's it for now. Contact me at any time. You should also contact Elder Yu and see if there is any news about Yang Ming. Okay, I will contact him in a while. Dong Jun said. Shortly after Dong Jun's words, the network connection over there was disconnected. Obviously, Dr. Benjamin went to do other things. Dong Jun also took a deep breath. I don't know what is wrong with Dr. Benjamin. I heard that Yang Ming has special abilities, and it is related to glasses. I have to find a way to divert his attention. Otherwise, the more he knows about Yang Ming, the more disadvantageous it is. This is hard to say, but you shouldn't be too obvious. Otherwise, Dr. Benjamin will be suspicious. Huang Yukai suggested. I understand. Dong Jun nodded. Dr. Benjamin will report some news about Yang Ming. Let him feel that with him is an insignificant person with him, he will give up the investigation. Otherwise, it will be a bit difficult. This is the only way, said Huang Yukai. Next, Dong Jun's phone call was called to Elder Yu. He was ready to ask about Yang Ming's news. During this time, Dong Jun had disappeared. He almost didn't call to ask him to deal with Yang Ming. This made Elder Yu relieved. After all, Dong Jun wanted to kill Yang Ming. Elder Yu couldn't do it yet. Yang Ming was now studying the Jin Gang voodoo for him. Why would Elder Yu kill Yang Ming at this time? So it was better if Dong Jun didn't call to urge him. But at the same time, Elder Yu was a little lost. He finally caught Yang Ming and got Yang Ming to do things for him. This was something worth showing off. He wanted to show off to Dong Jun, but Dong Jun seemed to be indifferent. This made Elder Yu very hurt. Just as he was depressed, Dong Jun's phone call came, and it made Elder Yu's spirit lift. I say, behind the scenes boss, you haven't contacted me for a while. What happened today? Why did you suddenly call me? Elder Yu picked up the phone and asked. Elder Yu, I don't have an opponent here. I'm a little bored. I suddenly missed Yang Ming, so I called to ask you. How is my opponent now? Dong Jun asked lazily. You ask Yang Ming. He is still the same. I caught him to study voodoo. Why? You don't have an opponent, so you feel a little uncomfortable. Elder Yu showed off his ability in front of Dong Jun and felt very refreshed. After all, Elder Yu had failed repeatedly before, and he had been despised by Dong Jun. At this time, there was an opportunity. Naturally, he had to boast more. I made your opponent work as a coolie. I'm really sorry. There is nothing to be sorry about. Why? Haven't you killed him yet? Asked Dong Jun. Kill him. Such a good coolie. If I kill him, he will be gone. How can I kill him? Elder Yu asked, aren't you lonely without an opponent? Why do you still want me to kill him? Oh, whether you kill him or not, he is trapped at your place. It has little to do with me. I can't see him and I can't show off anything, so you might as well kill him directly. Dong Jun said this deliberately. He was a very observant person. After listening to Elder Yu's tone, he knew that it was impossible for him to kill Yang Ming for the time being, so he deliberately said this to further test Elder Yu's tone. Kill him, and you will be my coolie. Elder Yu was still a little afraid of Dong Jun. He could joke, but Elder Yu didn't dare to really go against him because he knew that there seemed to be a big force behind Dong Jun. This force also had strength that was not inferior to the power of Elder Yu's Jin Gang Voodoo. Therefore, he still didn't dare to speak too harshly to Dong Jun, except for cooperation. I want to, but the person behind me won't let me. Dong Jun smiled. Your Jin Gang Voodoo, haven't you researched it yet? No, how can it be so fast? Elder Yu said, how about this? If you have nothing to do and want to show your victory posture in front of Yang Ming, come and play. I will take you to see Yang Ming's coolie. In fact, Elder Yu just wanted to show off his strength and his attitude as a victor. Yang Ming was not caught by Dong Jun. What could Dong Jun show? Forget it. Dong Jun was ecstatic, but he pretended not to care on the surface. Don't think that I don't know what you are thinking. What can I show if I go? I really don't mean anything else. If you don't want to come, don't accuse a good person. Elder Yu stopped talking and smiled bitterly. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.